Do you record or do one of those
we
every
are
time?
live, mother flippins!
Whoa!
What's up, everybody?
Hey, everybody.
Welcome
Hey
back.
guys.
Hey Luke, hey Roger,
The
hey
Luke,
Mike.
the Raj, and everyone else.
Our loyal viewers.
And Eric. Hey Eric. Alright, do you guys remember where we left off last time?
We in a house.
And the-
We just
and the thing
kicked some
with
zombie butt.
We were about to head into a mansion.
Getting whooped by zombies.
Are we just?
I
Are we
was
just jumping right
chilling
into
with
it?
the llama outside.
Let's just jump right into it. You're right, man. We're here, man. We're ready to go.
Okay, you guys were strolling down the road. I believe you were on your way to the Burgomaster's mansion when the paladin detected an undead aura through an open window and proceeded to dive face first through it, at which point you guys hacked zombies into several pieces that continued to fight back after they had been removed from their torsos.
Necromancy.
After clearing them out, you all, I believe you're just standing in the house, right, when we left off?
Yeah,
Yeah,
I think so.
Burgomaster says Monkey C.
Surrounded by dead, chopped up zombies.
Surrounded by dead, chopped up zombies. So let us make our way back to the village of Barovia.
Here we be. All right.
Arr.
I got dice on my
Here
screen.
be we.
If there's dice on your screen, you can just click
Yeah,
the dice.
I know.
Here we have +1 to wee.
So the house that you guys dove into was this one right here. It's this one that I'm drawing purple all over.
I'm crawling back out the window and then sticking my head inside as everyone waits around over the heaps of dead zombies. Well, I guess zombies are dead by definition. Anyways, gentlemen, that was a fun interlude. I believe we have a destination to head to. Come on.
Is anyone banged up?
Fun. You think the dead are fun?
Because I have 4 health right now, so I'm probably gonna use some healing if anyone wants in on this shit.
I'm
Right.
full health.
Let them role play.
Mend your wounds on the way.
I would prefer not to leave a blood trail.
Walking men preachy.
All right. So,
Okay, so
are we headed towards this mansion now? Is that what's happening?
Yeah, that's what I mentioned.
All right.
Heal on the way.
Let's go.
Can someone?
Paladin, lead the way.
Can someone?
I mean,
hey,
the
can someone
destination
boost
I
me out of
was
this window
talking
here?
about was actually right back out of town
Throw you out to the
and
window.
where we came from.
okay.
Yeah, I assume towards the mansion. If it's clear that I know the way there, then I'll head that way.
So when from the house you were standing in, if you look down the lane, you can clearly see the large mansion that she was referring to. Yep, right there, right where Yonko pinged.
I thought it was up here. At the, I guess that's a graveyard.
maybe it's a graveyard.
How, yeah,
No,
Maybe
how-
it's
I-
not.
how do I don't just have this map. I don't even know what's happening with this. Can you
I-
Oh
find
my
watch
God,
this.
man, where have you been?
Hold on, I watched the last episode, and if I'm not mistaken, all of our party heard that would be Strahd's mansion up at the top.
That
cast-
is not correct.
That is
No?
not.
No. They said that Strahd's castle was where Strahd was at. However, you guys did not
Oh.
obtain a specific location of Strahd's castle. However, if you look off in the distance, you can see a large church seated atop a small hill, which is clearly the building that you see to the north.
Gotcha.
And the reason you
Strahd's
guys
church.
have the map is just because the town is pretty easily laid out.
To the
There's not a whole
north.
lot going on, so you can sort of figure it out. Yeah, so that's why
So to the
that's
south.
important to you guys.
Right. Well, I'll head to the Burgomasters.
The
I get up and dust
Burgomaster.
myself off after the cleric tossed me out
Shadow.
the window. Just brush myself off here. Thanks,
So,
Preachy.
Walu, the rest of your party emerges from the old boarded up house with several new wounds and some thick old blood splattered across their armor, and you have done your duty guarding the llama outside of the house of Harry.
Hey guys, it sounded like a lot of fun in there, but the llama's okay.
I touch you on the shoulder and I go, "You've done well."
Thank you, thank you.
Walk over and
Enjoy your vacation.
It was great.
And I haven't talked to at all. I don't believe we've met. No.
I don't believe so either. I'm Walu.
I wasn't saying that in character.
Oh.
I mean, you've been here the whole time.
Yeah. I heard your name. I overheard your name yesterday while I was keeping to myself.
So you all head south down the cobblestone and dirt road.
John, you're so rude, man. Patrick, this is Jay. Jay, this is Patrick. Proper introduction. We're all friends now.
Nice to meet you.
Jeez. All right, John, sorry about that.
They don't need an introduction. Don't treat them like people.
We had a modern introduction in the chat we have on Facebook. I'm just saying.
Okay. So
well,
you guys head south down the dirt and cobblestone road, which at the end of you find a weary-looking old mansion that squats behind a rusting iron fence. The iron gates are twisted and torn. The right gate lies cast aside, while the left swings lazily in the wind. The stuttering squeal and clang of the open gate repeats with mindless precision. Weeds choke the grounds and press with menace upon the house itself, yet against the walls the growth has been tramped down to create a path all about the domain. Heavy claw marks have stripped the once beautiful finish of the walls, and great black marks tell of fires that have assailed the mansion. Not a pane nor shard of glass stands in any window. All of the windows are barred with planks, each one marked with the stains of evil omen.
Well, this is nice.
Stains of evil omen.
So guys, this place totally reeks the stain of evil.
What a lovely home.
We must dispel this evil.
I can see why people hide inside their homes if this is how they end up.
Yeah.
I mean, if you look at it just right, it kind of has a nice feng shui to it, maybe.
What's feng shui?
That's some monk thing.
Monks are well-known furniture, interior designers. Okay, so I'll push my way past the gate that's just swinging lazily in the wind and storm through the trampled grass towards the house. Just keeping an eye out for things around me.
Okay, you march up the treaded path to the front door, and you reach an ornate and heavy wooden front door that has claw marks etched deep into it from top to bottom. The brass door knocker still hangs.
Can I tell what made the claw marks?
Sure. Why don't you give me a nature?
Okay. Well, I will give you... Yeah, my character sheet is not coming up. Oh, there it is. I just don't know how to use this, so...
It was a learning curve, and you already taught us the new anyway.
Alright, so one thing we want to try and avoid is characters making rolls for other characters. So, if the paladin does it and then fails, he may ask Tika to come take a look, because Tika's a druid. In which case that would be something to do in character, because of course Tika, you wouldn't necessarily know that he's making a nature roll in that moment.
I feel you. My bad, man.
No, you're good. It was just something that way we can sort of get in the habit of just rolling with the flow of how things are going. But we'll take both of those and assume that you work together. After you both sort of look over the claw marks, it's pretty clear that these are from the claws of wolves, similar to the ones that you faced both on the road and in the woods. They are, however, extremely deep and numerous, so it would appear that The wolves spent some time here scratching at the door.
Just the spot. I eagerly grip the handle of my sword, and then grab a hold of the knocker and pound it heavily against the door.
Okay. Does anyone want to do anything else while they were checking out the door?
No, I'm gonna come up and say, as always, y'all lead the way. I'll be right behind you, about 4 tiles back.
Yeah, as he pounds, I produce flame. And I'm ready for battle.
Is there somewhere I can
back.
Is there somewhere I can tie Pickles?
Sure, you could tie her to the gate.
Are we getting Diablo music?
Yeah, this is a town of Tristram.
Okay, so I'm tying Pickles to the gate here.
I like
Pickles, you wait here and behave yourself.
Okay. So you tie Pickles up, and then she just stands there, and she chews on the same piece of vegetable matter she's been chewing, which is now just sort of like a gummy paste.
Oh, what a good girl. Just give me a little pet on the head.
I don't know if you heard me. I produce flame, and I'm like anticipating an attack. So I'm just, if something attacks, I'm going to shoot it with my fireball.
Okay. Agarim?
I'm probably just going to be right up front at the door. Maybe whoever answers it, will be happy to see a man of the faith.
Okay, and
glancing over at the flame, I'm sure that's not the best way to make an introduction. To the guy that made the flame, standing right next to me. just hide the flame behind the back or something. It's okay.
Okay, Nightbreeze, what are you doing?
I'm just walking up behind him.
Okay. So M here, you bring the knocker down on the door, and it lets out a heavy, clacking sound. And you hear a voice call from the other side of the door, a clearly female voice. And she says, "Hello? Who is it?"
This is M here. We're here to answer the summonings of the Burgomaster, Kolyan Indirovich. He sent out a summons about an Irina.
Kolyan is my father. I'm Irina. I wasn't aware that he sent out for anyone. What did he ask of you? Why are you here?
I must insist that we speak to the Burgomaster.
Unfortunately, my father Kolyan perished a week past.
Madame, would you mind opening the door so we can speak face to face?
I'm sorry I can't do that. I don't know if you can tell from the outside, but we've been under some attacks. It's just not safe to let anyone in.
We kill wolves?
You don't need to let me in.
But if I open the door, you could come in.
I give you my word as a knight.
Make a persuasion.
I don't persuade people, I just intimidate them.
Open the door!
You have good persuasion.
So you see sort of a little eye peer out through an area where part of the door has chipped away. And she says, I see that you are a warrior of God. Just one moment. Allow me to unbar the door. Do you have holy symbols on your armor?
On my shield, yeah.
Okay. And you hear sort of like a heavy sliding sound. And she opens the door. And, of course, you and Agarim are standing at the front. And she's...
giant bird man.
Well, Agarim said he pushed in the front, so I assume that Tika's
okay.
behind you.
Yeah, I am. I'm behind you guys. Sure.
And she's like, it is good to see some men of faith. I'm not sure what my father called you here, but please, come inside.
Thank you, miss. I'll head in. And motion for the rest of the party to follow.
Alright.
Does everyone else just follow in?
Yeah, I'm gonna walk in kind of
cautiously.
As I come to her, just kind of bow and thank you for letting us.
It's kind of walk in last and.
So, as each of you walk past the next more horrific than the last, she seems sort of taken aback by each of you.
Eye.
Yeah, and finally, when Nightbreeze, you come up, did you guys ever bandage your eye or anything?
Yeah, I put like one of my wraps on it.
Okay, did you take the eye patch at some point?
No.
Okay.
Patrick has
I
the
have
patch.
it.
That's
Malu
has it. I don't have anything.
Still
I have my
wearing
eyepiece.
Okay. So you
should
you
put
all,
your eye on your finger.
So Nightbreeze, you come up and you bow, and she sort of takes the moment to look you over, and she goes, I see I am not the only one who has been touched by death here. And she sort of shuts the door as the rest of you come in. And now that you step in the interior of the mansion, it's well furnished, but the fixtures show sign of great wear. Noticeable oddities are the boarded up windows and the presence of holy symbols that seem to be hanging in every room that you glance into.
I like the decoration.
As you step in, and here you were the first one in, you sort of shuffle towards the back of the entryway, and you can see that through a doorway leads to a small drawing room, and on the floor there's a body lying there. It's lying in a simple wooden coffin and surrounded by wilting flowers, and you all get the faint odor of decay.
Familiar.
I approach the body and I kneel before it, and I start observing it without saying anything.
It's like, is it bad that we're getting used to the smell of decay?
What were the latches that she had on the door?
So if you turn around, there's basically like the two U-shaped fixtures where a heavy wooden like rectangular block was crossing the door. It looks like she has slid it off and set it to the side of the door. Once you have all entered, she takes a moment to heft it back up. She visibly struggles a little bit because it's clearly a heavy block of wood. You help her, and she sort of smiles in appreciation, and you slide it back into place across the door.
I ask, how long has this man been dead?
She walks over to you as you kneel next to the body, and she says, my father passed 3 days past, it must have been. It feels like nearly a week, but it must have been 3 days past.
Why has the body not yet been interred?
Unfortunately, none of the townsfolk will help my brother, or I carry him to the cemetery down the road. It is tradition that he be entombed and buried at dawn, yet no one dares brave the nighttime to carry his body there, and none of them will come near me.
I say this will be done.
Why won't anyone come near you? Did I get her name?
Yeah, she said it was Irina.
It's Irina.
Oh, that's
you
Irina.
Guys said, yeah, you guys said it to her, and she...
Okay, I thought you said that Irina was her mother for some reason.
No, she's Irina. She's ever since Strahd came for me, the townsfolk are afraid to approach me.
This is the Burgomaster?
The Burgomaster was my father. Now the Burgomaster is Mark the Lesser, my brother. He's likely down at the Blood on the Vine Tavern now.
Did I miss it? Did she tell us how he died already? Or not yet?
This man here, this is...
William. Yes, my father, and the former Burgomaster.
Sorry, did I miss it? Did she tell us how he died already?
No.
Okay.
I'm walking over to, Cyclops. What's your name?
Nightbreeze.
Oh, Nightbreeze.
Nightbreeze. And I'll, nudge him. Nightbreeze, can I see the letter that we found on the road?
I'm not the one who has it.
I kind of just saunter up and knock on the paladin's armor on his leg. I have it. I just take it out here.
Thank you, David. So I'll look over it, and I'm gonna show I'll show David and Nightbreeze the portion that says "the love of my life," and it was written by her father. That sound like strange terminology. Anywho,
It's a little
you
weird.
can have this back, David.
Well,
Thanks.
you know,
Can't a man love his daughter?
I didn't show you guys.
I feel what you mean on that. But
Wait, where do you
Like,
see Love of
well,
My Life?
yeah, I'm not in the game on that. But
I'm like, well, it's a little weird.
when we are born, we just raise ourselves.
Did you guys need me to bring up that letter for you?
I have it. It's the,
We have
it's
it,
the
we have it.
second one, right?
Kolyan Indirovich's letter.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We have it.
Here, I'll pull it out for the viewers.
Well, while that's going on, I'm looking kind of nervous. So I walk up to Irina, like, hey, is it safe that I tied up my llama at the gate?
So yeah, the letter that you have, or that you're familiar with, M here does not say "love of my life."
Oh, okay, it's the first one that we got from.
Yeah, the letter that you're familiar with, M here starts with "my adopted or it has my adopted daughter, the fair Irina Kolyana, has been bit by a vampire."
Okay.
That's
Is
why
that
I was
also written
confused.
by Kolyan?
Both of
Yeah.
them, yes, are written by, are both signed as Kolyan, Burgomaster.
Well, then I guess somebody else should figure this out.
Okay,
I still want-
I
I
just
guess
popped up the right
everybody
letter.
just looks at me like a crazy person then.
Should we address Serena about this? That the letter mentions that she was bitten by a vampire, and we're speaking to her. So
I guess that is also a relevant issue.
speak to her. Arena, we received word from your father Kolyan before he passed that you were bitten by a vampire. Is everything all right in that regard?
But when he's asking that, I'm going to use my divine sense.
Okay. So you use your divine sense. You don't detect any undead energies coming from her. You can go ahead and make a religion check. Anyone who's trying to deduce whether she could be a vampire or such can make a religion check. She sort of touches her neck where you can see the clear wounds, scar where she was bitten, and she says, "Twice Strahd has come to feed. I don't remember it. All I remember are his eyes and the blazing hunger in them."
Why does Strahd feast upon you and not the other villagers?
That I do not know. He and his monsters, they assailed our home night after night after night for weeks. Eventually, my father's heart couldn't take the constant assault, and he passed.
When he comes, does he stay here or does he take you anywhere?
I don't remember. All I can remember are the eyes, the red burning eyes.
How
Is
often
this,
does he come?
He has only come twice.
Strahd is a vampire,
I'm
not a lycanthrope, a werewolf.
Strahd was a vampire sent to curse the Barovians for sins long since past. Walu, you got a 20 religion?
yeah.
Where's our cleric? Cleric, roll religion.
I did,
You
and I
did.
shat
You got a
it.
9.
Oh, M here. Did you roll religion?
He sucked it up like the pally did.
Oh, Yonko, Malandor, switch to your character names in the chat
Oh,
so
Sorry.
I know who makes
Real
their-
quick,
Oop. I didn't roll religion.
She said, I wanted to roll, I think it's insight. She said that her father died because his heart couldn't take the attacks.
Sure, make an insight check.
Definitely want to see about that. I'm curious.
Walu, you had run through some obscure texts in your studies when you were focusing on life and death and ways to extend it. You ran over some texts about vampirism and the nature of undeath, and you discovered that typically people aren't afflicted with vampirism unless they're drained entirely of their life by a vampire. You also think that Irina is telling the truth and that her father truly died of some sort of heart attack or similar.
Gotcha.
Can I do can I inspect the body to see if there's any other kinds of struggle?
Sure.
Since I'm already
go ahead and do a medicine.
Alright, cool.
How do you pop the chat out? I can't get to my name.
If you pop the chat out, your name should just be listed right at the bottom of the chat.
Yeah, I can't pop it out of my frickin' start menu. No, my start menu, the taskbar is getting in the way, so I can't click my name.
That's not cool. Man.
Well, you said you popped the chat out into a different window. How'd you do that?
So double click the little chat bubbles at the top left, where you would click to get to chat. If you double click that, it pops it out.
Oh, okay.
Yonko discovered that.
Alright, cool. Thanks.
Hey, Irina. I have a question for you.
Yes?
I kind of tied my llama outside of the gate. Is she safe out there?
She should be safe as long as it's daytime. His creatures typically don't roam into town while the sun is out, though the sun does little to protect you when you're on the road. I should note, we didn't actually get into a description, but Irina is a fairly attractive young woman with auburn hair, probably in her early 20s.
Oh, okay. Okay, so when the sun starts to set, can I bring my llama inside?
Hold on, we have too many people talking at once. John P. first?
I'm like, well, when the sun starts to set, can I bring her inside?
I don't see any reason why not.
Hey, Yonko, you're crunching, man.
In fact, here we go. Let's do
David,
this.
you want to bring a llama inside this nice house?
You know what? The house is nice, but I'd rather my llama be alive.
Emergency ration.
Sorry, the medicine check. Tika, you look over the body and you don't see any signs of like wounds or attacks. Whatever killed him doesn't have any visible evidence.
Alright. I stand up and I join the party now. I walk away from the body. She mentioned taking him to the graveyard at noon. Like, is that any night? I asked her, is that any night?
At dawn.
Oh, sorry, at dawn.
She says, yes, it is in tradition that the Burgomaster be put to rest at dawn. The cemetery is just north. Father Donovic will assist us with the burial. Unfortunately, I've been able to find anyone to help us move the coffin. My brother is afraid to move it with just the two of us, as he doesn't feel that he could protect me should something happen.
And where is your brother?
I believe he's currently down at the Blood of the Vine Tavern. It's where he spends the days. It's easier to make it through the days when you have a pint of alcohol.
Hey, John, what time of day is it?
Like early. You guys hit the road at morning, so it's probably like noon now.
Okay. I asked the fellas. I'll tell the guys we should talk to her brother.
Nightbreeze.
Before, what is it, dawn?
Yes. Dawn. Nightbreeze, I want to let you know, too, that as you've been walking through the town, despite the fact that it's noon, it seems as if the overcast nature of the sky has prevented the sun from bothering you.
Sweet.
Irina, how does your brother act as Burgomaster when the townsfolk clearly offer him so little respect as to not even help the man bury his own father?
Honestly, there's not much duty for a Burgomaster these days. There are a few shops open, and Only a
Burgers.
handful of families still here. It's basically an empty title at this point, though it is all my family has left. The monsters have almost torn down our home.
It looks like wolves had assaulted your door. We ran into some of these wolves on the road here. There was a very large one with red eyes, similar to what you described, but it was clearly not a vampire.
It's hard to tell. He can take many shapes.
What kind of shapes?
I am not familiar with the limits of his powers, but he is a dark and powerful creature. He has come to us in many forms. What's up, Spammerino? I see you in that chat. It is Burgomaster is the anglicized version. Burgomeister would be the German version of it.
And the Hamburglar would be the mascot.
All right,
John,
we're going with Hamburg.
What
While
forms
this is
have you
happening-
seen him in?
Oh.
Hold on. But okay, I'm here. What?
You said that you've been approached by Strahd in many forms. What other forms?
I have seen his eyes outside the windows. I have seen him here even when he has not made it inside to feed. But he is out there. They are not always the eyes of a man, though I do not know what creature bears them.
We still have some time before dawn, so I figured we should go talk to his son
We have a whole
at the
date.
tavern.
I'm up for a pint.
John, while all this has been happening, I have a Barovia heraldry and history book. I want to look through that and see if I can pick up anything on like the family, the history of the town.
Sure. Are you gonna do that just now, or are you guys trying to like?
While they
hunker
were
down?
talking,
Okay.
I wanted to kind of skim through it, see if I
I
find
guess
anything.
as I see him pull out his book, I ask him, "How about you stay here and guard the lady while we go talk to the Burgomaster?" So you want to go through the book, right?
Yeah.
No.
I'm
Time's a wasting.
So if you just take a moment to flip through the book while they're doing all of this, you notice that the most prominently featured surname is Zarovic, which appear to be the like one of the earliest families, if not the founders, of the town.
Irina, what can you tell us about this town, besides that it's slowly dying? And haunted and terrifying.
And charges
Without any love of the
normally
gods.
candy hide.
Why do you stay here?
You cannot leave the land. You can travel to one of the other cities, Keswick perhaps, but you cannot go beyond the mist.
The mist? What nation are we in?
Well, these are the lands of Barovia. And this is the town of Barovia within those lands.
And who's the king?
We have no king. We have only Lord Strahd.
I head towards the door and I
All
open
of
it.
the nations have a king.
Uh,
Are we in the north? Are we in the south? If I travel to the west, what will I run into?
if you travel to the west, you will find numerous Vistani travelers. You will find the Stair Pools keep going, and you will...
Vistani?
Of course, they're one of the native people of Barovia. An interesting people, to be sure. You can find their encampment down the road, at least one of them. They're spread widely across the lands. And if you keep heading west out of the village, you can find other villages. You can find Valaki. That's probably the nearest here. And you can find Krezik to the far west. The Svalak woods encompass it all. The lands are vast for what they are, but there's no escape from them.
Escape? This is a town like any other. We happened upon it through the road. And how is it? I've been a knight and slain all manner of abomination and horror for years, and I've never heard of any of these beasts.
I cannot say the things that you have encountered, Sir Knight, but I assure you Barovia is not a town like all others. Stay here long enough and you will learn that.
I'm gonna hold up my shield.
Okay.
What god is this a symbol of?
Do you have what god do you worship? Is it a widely known god?
Like the dank?
There is no such god.
Tell that to my god.
What god?
Yeah, so I was originally going with the helm. I'm not sure that that's how I wanted to send the character, but since it's coming up, I guess that's what we're going with.
The helm?
Yeah.
What is
Forgotten Realms.
Okay, yeah, she would not. She says, I'm unfamiliar with that deity.
This is... Everyone knows the helm.
Perhaps you have come a
Do
long
any
ways.
of you? I show the shield to the rest of the party.
Anyone who would know this would be from Faerun. They would be from the Sword Coast. If anyone is from any other setting, they wouldn't know this god. It is up to you to determine whether you're from that setting or not. Presumably you are all from the same setting, so you either would likely all know it or not. But you showed up at level 2, so you could have. You could be from a different setting. We can work with whatever. It's up to you.
A shrug, as per my god would have done.
Can I make a religion check and see if I ran across anything while I was at the monastery?
If you're from Faerun, you know the god. It's that simple. It's just up to you. If you want to be from that world, you know who the helm is. It is too widespread a god for you to not know.
Oh, fair enough. No.
Okay, so then the rest of the characters are not from Faerun. We'll go ahead and make that right now. You guys are from somewhere else. Let's probably Greyhawk or something. Okay, go ahead and respond adequately to this question.
I've never seen that symbol. I've heard of that theory. Sorry.
I've never seen that holy symbol before.
Perhaps
I can't say that I have either.
Perhaps you've heard of my god, and I show him a picture of a gorilla.
You don't have a picture of a gorilla.
My character just like, what the fuck is that?
I worship life and life itself.
I just demean it. I'm like, is that a monkey?
So weirdly enough, based on the fact that you have a primitive druid bird person, and you have a guy who worships an animal god, you guys seem like you're from sort of a nature primitive oriented plane.
A little bit.
Which is sort of interesting.
Live off the land.
So I'm here.
What sort of haunted place have I been swallowed into?
How about let's go find out? Let's talk to this brother of hers.
Sir, only you saw the house we were at the other day. Then you wouldn't ask such a question of us.
May Thogrin rest in pieces.
Irina interjects. She says, the house, the one that collapsed on the east of town, was that you?
Yes.
We were there, yes.
That was us.
Interesting. My brother came back with word that one of the homes had collapsed. We assumed it was in one of the doings of Strahd or one of his creatures or some other curse brought down upon the village. Why destroy the house?
There was a massive...
There was a shambling mound in the house. We didn't intend to destroy it. It kind of just started falling apart after we killed it.
I'm not familiar. What is a shambling mound? I'm unfamiliar with this term.
Why
it was a
destroy
very,
the house?
very dirty creature.
Why destroy the house? The house almost consumed us.
The house kind of
Dare
fell
ask
apart.
us how why destroy the house?
I suppose I had heard the home was haunted, but
It was.
there are so many
Oh.
empty and boarded up houses harboring terrible creatures of the night. I assumed it was just rumors. Another house holding a handful of former Barovians turned into undead monsters.
I walk
we
up
don't
and
know
look up
about-
at her. Like, I was possessed by the spirit of a child in that house. I'll have you know, and it was very uncomfortable.
I approach her and I ask
Me
her,
too. Me too.
Do you know those who inhabited that house?
It was not as far as I'm aware. It has been abandoned as long as I've been alive. When I was a child, we shied away from it.
Well, that was smart.
Yeah, good call. We couldn't decide to get away from it if we tried.
Is no one here even slightly disturbed by the fact that we've been swallowed up into some sort of alien place?
Well, that is alarming, but I assume that if we can kill Strahd, we'll be able to leave.
Survival of the fittest.
After that last house, I think I'm used to being swallowed up by awful things.
Yeah. I mean, of all things, our previous member that we had was swallowed by a door. There's not much around here that has shocked me as much as that story, so I'm good to go.
I'm in for the door, and I say, I think we should, about time we head for that tavern and speak to the Burgomaster's son.
We're gonna go talk to your brother now. Okay, see you later.
Irina, I have one last question before we leave. Do you know a Deckard Cain?
Shut the fuck up.
And we just walk out, no answer, we just walk.
So as you're leaving, she says, I thought you were going to help me inter my father.
I'm not going anywhere. I'm still in the house.
Was it Dawn?
I'll look back. We are gonna help you with your father, but we want to go talk to your brother first.
We'll be here.
Well, how about? It's actually
Is it
not
at
a bad
dawn or
idea.
dusk?
Dawn.
It's at dawn that the body needs to be interred.
That's
So
not a
it
bad.
needs to be ready to bury at dawn.
I turn to M
As
here.
David's... Oh.
I turn to M here and say that's not a bad idea. What if Strahd returns? The brother will come back soon enough. How about we rest here as we wait?
Well, true, actually.
Okay.
Can you provide
Someone's
us
got a beer.
lodging until the dawn?
Of course.
Assuming that we aren't swallowed up and whisked away to some otherworldly place.
Well, let us hope that doesn't occur, as you are the only ones who have volunteered to assist me with my father's burial. The home is more than big enough to accommodate all of you. I would appreciate the extra assistance through the night. My brother should be returning.
Assistance for what?
Being-
How often does your door get the treatment?
Before my father's death,
Is that a euphemism?
it was a nightly affair, but since his passing, the nights have been quiet. However, I fear that they could resume at any moment.
Yeah, so somebody
Which one of us is the
should look at
sneakiest here?
the letter and
Possibly
know.
me.
Possibly you?
You're small.
Yeah, I'm small.
I mean, just to throw it out there, I do have a disguise kit.
My stealth is +3.
That's right. I
Okay, so
Alright.
everyone else has read the letter that
also
I
have
haven't
disguise.
seen.
Yeah.
And it hasn't occurred to anyone that,
To show him.
well, that it's just a odd turn of phrase.
Love of my life. It's his daughter, man.
Parents love their children.
No, not the love of their lives.
Oh wait, adopted daughter. Oh.
Is it an adopted
Maybe
daughter?
Could you ever imagine yourself walking up
second
to
letter
a
says
stranger
adopted.
and introducing your daughter as the love of your life?
Nightbreeze, are you looking at both of the letters right now?
I have them access to them. Yeah.
Like, what if the wife
Okay,
is no longer
can you
in the
roll an
picture?
intelligence check?
Sure. Why do I have advantage on? Let me redo that.
Probably from the last fight.
Intelligence.
Okay,
Great.
that's fine. You have both of the letters in hand. It occurs to you that despite both letters being addressed to Thee of Might and Valor and being signed by Kolyan the Burgomaster, that they bear significantly different handwriting.
Yeah.
Huh.
Which, if you look at the handout, you can actually just see.
Does it actually look like different handwriting? Oh my god, that's cool. Let's see.
Nah.
Pull them both up. The viewers can see that.
Nightbreeze is looking over both letters, one eye at a time.
Can I show her the first one to see if she recognizes the handwriting?
The first one is in the first one you guys found before M here was part
Correct.
of your group.
You're right.
Yes.
Sure. You show it to Irina. What do you say to her?
I just show it to her. Does this look like your father's handwriting? Does it seem like something he would, in the tone that he's written before?
She reaches out and takes it, and she inspects it closer, and she says, "This is not my father's handwriting. Is this the letter you received?
It is. It's one of them.
This is certainly not my father reaching out to you. I'm sorry that you've been forced to come here, but it was under false pretense."
And she's
Can I
referring
hand
to
her-
the one that calls her the love of her life, right? Life? Okay.
Yes, it would be that one.
Can I hand her the second one and have her look at that one as well?
Sure. She looks it over and she says, "This is my father's writing. Which I'm confused. Which one did you receive?"
We
Real
received
quick,
both
I'm hoping she
of
knew
them.
she was adopted, because this would be a big shock.
I step up. I found the second one you read on a dead body.
So was the first one.
What dead body?
The first one was on the
When you were
dead body
looking
with the wolves at the beginning of the first day one.
When he says we found the second one on a dead body, M here, that was the dead body you had pulled the scroll, or that you were in front of. You saw him take the scroll off it.
Mhm.
I thought.
Yeah. No, remember I charged ahead.
Oh yeah.
And it's
Yeah,
funny because like
I missed it too,
the one that is not his writing says
I think.
I, a lowly servant of Barovia, where the one that is his writing says I, the Burgomaster of Barovia. So you can heavily say that whoever wrote the one that's not him thinks very lowly of the actual Burgomaster.
You
think
guys
he's talking
say
about
it differently
himself.
every time.
Master, Maester, whatever. Never forget.
Hamburglar.
The Hamburglar.
Somebody rifled
Burgomaster.
through the belongings of a dead man?
Yeah, that was me.
Sorry, Luke.
You?
I look at him and I shrug and I'm like,
I'm like, what? He was dead. He didn't need it anymore.
Are most gnomes grave robbers? Do you often just casually pillage corpses?
Wait, didn't
Yeah.
we do this when we first met you?
I did. Well, he charged ahead, so he didn't see me actually pick his pockets and stuff.
Yeah, in fact, I think everyone went ahead except David, who grabbed it off the body.
I was chilling with Pickles. I didn't notice.
Yeah.
Pickles and the Burgomaster.
What else did you take from the body, gnome?
There was a dagger, but I left it on the ground. That's about it.
Anything else?
Nah.
Anything else?
He does an intimidation roll.
Not a thing.
I hope you wouldn't act in a dishonest manner with me.
Nah.
John, oh, go ahead.
Oh no, Irina sort of walks you guys into a dining area type set up with a long table and numerous chairs, and she says, "Please have a seat. I'll ready a drink for everyone."
When she's going off, I get to get the drinks. I want to walk up to her and ask if she has, or Irina, do you have any? I'm trying to think of the word for it. It's not courtship or something. I'm trying to think of like. How do you describe?
Hey, yo, girl, who hitting that?
Is that the question?
No, it's like, see, I guess like an admirer town. Is there any people for maybe
creepers?
Strahd that, yeah.
Who's Clamster rules?
That would be Patrick.
Oh,
Yes,
okay. I just didn't notice that before.
So.
Being that the first letter states love of my life.
She says, no. As I said, most of the villagers stay away from me, and there's no one who pays any romantic attention to me currently. There's not much time for love here in Barovia.
Well, yeah, now with all the death.
Jeez.
Okay, I'm gonna head back to the dining room with everybody else.
Okay. Does anyone else want to do anything, either before she goes in to take tea or make a drink, or anyone else, or anything else?
I want to do one thing.
Mm-hmm.
While they're all conversating and I'm just kind of hanging out, I grabbed these 3 decently thick tomes from this house we were at previously. Can I pull one out and see if I understand it, just as a casual hanging out?
The thick tomes.
That's in your backpack.
You already did that. You looked over those in the house, remember, during arrest?
Oh, yeah.
And they were filled with a bunch of like fake rituals that didn't actually do anything.
Oh yeah.
Okay, I did that.
Yeah, you spent an hour investigating them, and while at first it appeared that they were some sort of arcane ritual, like the more you read into them, the more clear it was just nonsense.
3
I
decently
did
thick
write
paper
that.
weights.
That's okay. Thank you. Then I'm good. I'll have some tea.
You got firewood now, yeah. There you go.
Yeah, no, we have lumber.
Decently thick lumber.
This will burn
Eye
for
on
a
the gnome.
decently
I
thick
get it.
amount of time.
You might work out with his pockets being a bit heavier than they were when he entered.
I start feeling a bit hungry. I start searching around the house for, I don't know, rodents or whatever to feast on.
Sure, give me a perception check. What is up? Geek Ngale? I don't know how to say that name.
You're blind.
You are unable to locate the presence of any rats, despite the fact that the house seems to regularly be assailed by wild animals.
What does it look like he's doing?
It looks like he's sort of like, actually, yeah. What does it look like you're doing? Why don't you give a description?
I'm just actively walking around the house, peeking crevices, seeing if I can find any kind of
Pecking the
rodent.
floor like a chicken.
Finding a little snack. As I peek around, do I see we're in the living room right now, right? No, John?
You're in like a dining room.
In the dining room?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. I just
As he wanders by me, I'll whisper to him, Tika, this isn't appropriate. I'm not sure what you're up to.
I
Cleaning
completely
the
ignore
house.
him because I'm starving.
I didn't hear you.
Oh, so I just completely ignore you because I'm hungry. It's a part of the Alk and Druid thing. Like, they just take what they want. So, hungry, he's looking for food.
Yeah, they don't know that in character, so.
Gotcha.
Okay, so.
Yeah.
If you need something, maybe you should just ask the lady of the house. Or run off with the gnome, since apparently that's a thing that just happens.
Agarim, the house is not unkempt, however, it is like clearly worn. Like it's pretty apparent that no one has like shined up and buffed the place in a while, but clearly she keeps it organized.
Alright.
I
Geeking
sat
Gale.
at a chair in the dining area waiting for a drink.
I'm doing the same thing. I'm just kind of sitting or
Just
waiting
kinda
at the table.
looking around the dining area.
Okay. Eventually, Irina steps back in the room, and she has like a large tarnished teapot and several teacups stacked, and she sets them on the table and quickly goes back into the kitchen and comes in with like a platter that has what looks to be dried meat of some sort on it. And she says, I'm sorry that it's not much, but hopefully it will be something to keep you full until the dawn comes for the burial.
Hey, dried meat. Awesome.
I approach her and I ask her, do you have any rodents in your house?
She sort of makes a face like that's a gross question to ask and rude. And she says, perhaps somewhere. I certainly don't keep them anywhere for easy access.
I just walk around her and I keep looking around.
Occasionally.
Can I help you?
I'll eat some food. But
Can I help you find anything, Sir Bird?
I'm hungry. I only eat live food. I look at the cooked meat all grossed out.
And what is what is your
always
name?
llama.
As I keep looking, I just say Tikka masala.
Tika.
I wander into the next room if able. What's a room adjacent to the dining room?
So if you move off, you can move either into the kitchen or you can move into the drawing room where the coffin and the body are.
I go into the kitchen if he doesn't stop me.
Okay. No, she doesn't stop you from going into the kitchen. She turns back to the rest of the group and she says, Tika, a strange name for a strange creature indeed.
I'm kind of just munching on some of that dried meat. Like, yeah, he's a druid.
And she sort of, she approaches, I guess she would probably approaches M here since you were the one who spoke to her the most. And she goes, you keep such strange company for a warrior of God. Are these not unholy creatures?
It's a matter of perspective. I encountered them on the road and they followed me here. To be completely honest, I don't really know why, but
I finished the piece of meat in my mouth. Hey, he asked us to help him with some stupid wolves. And
almost got us killed. Those damn wolves.
well, right, if you would let me finish, I was going to say that they prove themselves to be fairly brave and willing to put their lives on the line to destroy evil, which is good enough for me, despite their odd habits and appearance.
Aha!
I
shout from the kitchen.
You hear Tika shout, aha, from the kitchen.
The squealing of a small rodent.
Yes, and you hear a loud and whiling squeal, clearly from a small creature, before you hear a squishing and light crunching sound that abruptly ends the squealing.
I come back into the room
I hope
like this.
you don't own any animals.
I sit down.
She says, I suppose he finally found that rat he was looking for. If you have any other questions, please allow me to answer them. It will be several hours before Ismark returns.
Is there anything that must be done to prepare your father's body?
We must seal the coffin and carry it to the church. Donovic will help us prepare the burial. It must be ready to enter the ground at dawn.
And what would you expect to encounter on the way? What has spooked everyone so?
Well, the creatures assailed our house night after night. The assumption is that they were coming for me. So people are afraid to be out with me, lest we come under attack again.
I ask her, in the event of, an attack, and our DM just walked away.
Keep going.
Oh, snap, you can hear me. Oh my god. In the event of any, attack, tonight, I ask if she has any, supplies that could, aid us, preferably of a healing variety.
Unfortunately, I don't have anything of exceptional quality. We've been locked in the house for weeks. I have basic bandages, some medicinal herbs. Would that assist you?
No, most definitely, I say.
It looked like the chair was talking for him.
The voice of God. Dank.
I'm glad my headset doesn't turn me into a robot when I walk out. That's good to know.
Yeah, that's why I don't use that mic anymore.
we can head to the merchant and purchase you whatever you need if things are getting barren.
I have enough supplies to survive. I have food. I have drink. I'm fine in that front.
I tell her I would welcome those herbs.
Are you wounded?
No, but we had an encounter previously and used all of our healing potions, and for the moment our only source of healing is magic. It would be handy to have materials.
Potions?
Well, herbs, for the moment. I could perhaps convert these into something of a poultice.
Oh, you're out of healing poultices. Here, let me gather supplies. Are you said you have magical healing?
Yes, it is limited though in our daily usage.
A power granted to you by the gods?
Yes, indeed. And I say with a sparkle in my eye, granted by His Holiness the effervescent deity of life, Dink.
As I walk past, I go. Pfft. I go into the kitchen.
Aren't you still in the kitchen?
No, he came back out.
I came back. Maybe people were talking over me. Yeah.
I look at Agrim and just mouth. I'm like, who?
She says, well, hopefully your lord's protection will be enough in the coming night. Allow me to gather those herbs for you. It is the least I can do.
As I keep looking for food, does the kitchen lead to another room in the house I can potentially go into?
Yeah, there's a small storage room off of the kitchen, and the kitchen also leads into a hallway that leads back to the entrance of the house, as well as branches off to what looks like a series of rooms. And off that hallway, there's also a staircase going to the second level.
I walk into the hallway and try going into the first room I can that's not where I've been.
Okay. You haven't been in the storage room off the kitchen, but if you just go into the hallway, you enter a room which looks to be a guest room of some sort. There's a decently well-dressed bed and a dresser. There's a single brush sitting on the dresser.
That's a break for me, guys.
Hairbrush.
Alright, cool. Keep going then.
Okay, Irina returns with a couple rolls of cloth bandage and a small wooden box, and she hands them to you, Agrim, which is, here you are, sir. I don't believe I got your name.
I straighten my armor and I say, I am Agrim Vendrus.
It is good to meet you, Sir Agrim. Here are the herbs.
Ah, excellent. Wait, how many is there? I'm gonna put this on my sheet.
It's only 4. What the hell is this lady?
What's 4?
You can count it as.
Hey, Homer.
I forgot what they're called on the item list. Oh, healing. You can count it as a healing kit.
Drag and drop, Ray. Drag and drop.
Healing
Giggity giggity.
kit. Kit.
I think that's what they're called in the PHP.
I'm
Uh,
rolling that perception check one time.
If you just type in kit, you'll find the right.
you mean the
thing.
healers?
Or healer's kit. Yeah, sorry.
Excellent. Alrighty.
It's a healer's kit. It only has 4 uses left on it.
Oh, it doesn't heal though. It just stabilizes apparently.
Yeah, so you can use it to stabilize a creature.
She said she didn't have exceptional supplies.
True.
Just
true.
saying.
All right. I'll accept it. Yeah. There we go. Yeah.
Okay, so is there anything else anyone wants to? Okay, sorry, Tika, what were you rolling a perception check for?
I'm still looking for food, man. I mean, I'm also looking around the house, right? But I'm looking for food mainly. That's my intention here.
You just ate a whole rat.
Oh, dude, I'm 5'5", man. I can eat something that's as big as me.
It's like 5'5" is like people height. A rat is like people amount of food. Yeah, you can keep hunting for rats.
A mere appetizer.
It's gonna take a little bit after taking like 20 minutes to hunt around and peck around for the things. You track down another rat scurrying under a dresser.
A rat king.
I mean, as an excuse to look around the house, I'm looking for rats. That's what's going on, really.
Okay, so you're just saying you're looking for rats. That's actually a check to look around the house.
Right,
what are you looking for in the house?
I'm looking for rats, but as I explore rooms, like if anything gets my attention, then so be it.
Okay, so I'm going to use your passive perception then for trying to detect things.
Sure. I'm just going off of what you describe in the rooms, mainly.
Yeah. So it's an uneventful guest room as you sort of make your way through the mansion, hunting for rats. You find pictures of Irina and her father, a man that you recognize who bears the face of the corpse now in the drawing room, as well as her brother who bears a striking resemblance to the father. There are numerous portraits of each of them and them together as a family. Clearly they were well off at some point as they have commissioned quite a few portraits. But it seems to be a fairly unexciting mansion. It is well kept, or rather well organized, but clearly with them living in it for weeks on end and it now housing a corpse and only Irina and her brother, things have gotten dusty. They're not as shining and new as they probably once were, but nothing strikes you or jumps out at you as particularly odd.
Well, once I've had my fill of rats, I joined the guys again. You said that was 20 minutes, you said?
Well, it would have been 20 minutes to find a rat. If you're going to take time to use it as an excuse to explore the mansion, you're going to be gone for a while, popping in every room. So is there anything anyone else wants to do in the meantime while Tika is exploring the rooms?
I could just play my lute. Just kind of casually play a little song.
I want to take out my my lens. I just want to look through it just around the house, just because I still haven't figured out what it does. I just want to look around at the house, just see if I notice anything.
I'll probably just explore with Tika.
I'll go ahead and pull my bone chimes out and play a song with David the gnome.
Okay, Agrim, to be clear, Tika is just walking around hunting for rats, as far as you know. Are you going to just walk behind him while he hunts for rats?
I'll just stretch my legs, just kind of chill with it. It's amusing to me to see him consume these things.
Okay.
Just
It's definitely a sight to see. I'm gonna tell you.
Like watching the Nature Channel.
Yeah, it's like because I don't chew my food, I just swallow it. So there's still
you do
alive.
like a bird. You upend it and you're just.
Yeah, exactly. I down throw that thing.
We have
Somebody
there's like
odd-shot
a forest and tall grass outside and everything. Of all the places to look for animals, why are you doing it in the house?
Well, because the house looked dilapidated. It looks like animals might live in here.
Not dilapidated. The house isn't dilapidated. It's just worn down from attacks, and there was a fire. It is still a standing building.
Oh yeah, there was a fire.
Well, I'm also in here with you guys, so yeah. You know,
It
that
looks
is
as
a
though
good
there-
point,
there
though.
was-
Outside, there might be more options. I just don't feel safe going outside on my own, I feel. I want to stay near you guys.
That's probably a good thing.
It looked as though there was a fire that flames had licked the outside of the building when we approached. What was it that did that?
It was part of one of the attacks. It's hard to say what exactly caused it as we were locked behind the doors, but I remember the smoke began to seep in the under the doors and through the cracks in the windows. Eventually we broke out the windows so we could put the fire out from the inside and had to hastily board them up.
So the house was just lit aflame?
Correct.
Am I like just playing my lute while he's like asking me these questions about their burn house?
You and Wallow are, yeah. Nightbreeze, what are you doing?
Mine is like the
I wanted
skeleton
to-
bones.
I wanted to mess around with my my glass lens.
Oh, right. You're looking around your lens. Okay, so, Nightbreeze, you spend some time sort of peering around with the lens and sort of walking about the house, trying to see if it's any different. You sort of put the lens up to your one eye, and then you put it back down, and then you put it up to your eye. And since you only have the one eye now, it's a little slower of a process.
Yeah.
But it doesn't seem to have any immediate effect. But you still carry it, and it still does have a strange rune inscribed on it.
Do we have all the tools necessary to bury your father?
Yes. All we need is the body and the coffin. The father will have all of the necessary tools to actually bury him.
Is the grave going to be dug out when we get there?
I can't say for sure. I haven't had a chance to venture there and speak with Father Donovic. Presumably he would have...
Should we do it now, or would it be safe to do at dawn?
It would be best to travel there during the day, I would assume, rather than through the night before dawn.
So how close are we to dawn now, John Johns?
You guys have been here for a few hours, so it's probably only 2 p.m.
Okay.
And
the bro's still getting drunk at the tavern?
He's not come back yet. I mean, you don't know what he's doing at the tavern, but he's not here.
Gotcha.
real quick, I see Nightbreeze kind of looking through that lens and like looking at the lens and looking through it and all that, and I ask him, I tell him, hey, I have a handy spell that's, it might take a minute to go through, but I could try to identify what that is.
Pat, I assume you're literally talking about the spell Identify?
Yeah.
Do note that in order to cast it, you need a pearl worth 100 gold pieces.
Crap. I saw that.
now it's worth noting.
I can cast the spell if you give me 100 GP.
It's funny because you also need an owl feather, but you can totally just take that off Tika.
I was gonna say, can't I?
You can
do
try
the owl feather
to take
through
it
the
off Tika.
focus?
It is worth noting that the pearl isn't consumed, so once you have a pearl of 100 GP value, you can just continue to use that pearl.
I mean, you can totally ask someone for one, right?
Well, if we happen to come across a nice pearl,
Small
I would
fortune.
be more than happy to look into that lens for you.
Nightbreeze, how did you obtain the lens? How did you stumble upon it? Was it given to you, or?
No, I found it at a bandit camp.
Okay, so like you cleared out a bandit camp and it was there. It was like in
Yeah.
amongst their belongings, and you were like, "This is interesting."
Yeah, it was the only thing that I found among all their stuff. Like,
Interesting.
only thing of worth, I should say.
Okay.
For the rest of the time that we're here at the house, I go back to the dead body and I sit down. I'm resting here while I'm kind of like murmuring some nature wishes on this corpse in front of me.
Okay.
hoping its soul makes it well to the next realm.
Right. Giving it some words of safety in its passing.
Well, if like it's safer to dig the grave during the day, I'm gonna head out and do that.
You're just heading out on your own?
Well, I mean, no, not just on my own, but I don't know. I mean, I get who's still in the room? Because the cleric's chasing around Birdman, who's hunting for rats.
So everyone except Agrim and Tika are in that dining area.
All right. Well, I mean, they probably heard me talk to it's Irina, right? Something like that.
Mm-hmm. Irina Koljanovic.
Did Agrim join me in the room with the corpse? I don't even know.
Agrim, did you join? Tika returned to the drawing room with the corpse.
Oh yeah, I'm pretty much following him.
Okay, so that's where everyone else is at.
Well, so I guess everybody already heard me talk to her. So, gentlemen, we should probably get this grave dug now rather than when we're being consumed by ravenous wolves at dawn. So I'm gonna head out and take care of that.
I'll join them.
Go ahead.
I was gonna say, I believe I'll go with you as well.
Irina says, perhaps now would be a good time to move the body, so we don't have to do it at night.
Oh, well, if we can do it now, if that's in accordance with your customs, then of course.
He must be buried at dawn. We can move the body to the church before then.
That sounds great.
Very well then.
Cool.
Anyway, we could just stay the night at the church?
I'm sure Father Donovic would allow that. It is a house of God, and perhaps it is protected better than my home.
Yeah, that's probably a better idea.
That would be great. It would make tomorrow morning go so well.
Perhaps either before we begin the move or while some of you are assisting me, the rest could retrieve my brother from the tavern.
I volunteer.
I stay with the corpse.
Wanting to go.
I want to make sure that this corpse is not desecrated in any way.
Perhaps Agarim, Sir Agarim or Sir Emhyr could retrieve him, as I think your appearance might alarm them. No offense, man.
Like this town got something against gnomes?
You are unusual, but it is more the man who is perpetually on fire that worries me.
I do understand.
Or the one-eyed creature with skin as black as night.
That's racist.
As she says that, I start hawking up like the leftover skin and bones from the rats I just ate.
Like,
in front of
like,
her.
Like onto the floor?
Like right in front of her, yeah. She's talking
Okay.
about these weird people that she's mentioning.
She makes a face and she's like, yes, but perhaps we should not spend much time in my home.
Excuse me, madam. But thank you for the
take
meal.
that outside.
I look at him confused.
What you just vomited on the ground, bring it outside.
Well, I'm just gonna continue playing my lute then, while everyone's doing everything else.
And who wanted to go into the tavern?
I suppose I'll go fetch him then.
Excellent.
I'll go.
In character, Ray, in character.
Whoa.
So, I mean,
I go and-
just to recap, Emir, are we gonna go and bury the guy now? Is that what's happening? We're gonna go start the...
No, we're gonna take... Oh,
Like, some of us are gonna go to the graveyard to dig the hole and take the corpse, and a few of us are gonna go get the brother?
No, we're retrieving the brother first.
Okay.
Are you all going to retrieve the brother?
I thought we were splitting up. Half of us, or some of us taking the body, and then the other group getting the brother
here.
while we...
You're just waiting.
That's exactly what I heard as well.
Yeah, didn't she voice her concern?
I mean, I suppose you could go and begin digging the grave, but we can't. We shouldn't move the corpse until the body until her brother's back.
Fair enough.
Okay, well, I guess so. We head out the house.
Okay, so who's leaving the house?
I'm definitely leaving the house.
Did you get your mess?
What mess are you talking about?
What you just vomited on the floor.
The remains.
Do you relieve yourself in the house too? Take that outside.
Cat fight.
Swat him with the closest book you
Owl
see
fight.
on his nose.
I am very confused by what you speak of, but I don't understand. What's wrong with
you
what's wrong with me?
It doesn't matter because that's not what we do.
And where I come from, this shows
it doesn't
respect.
matter.
How dare you?
We're not where you come from.
This is not.
I pull
Best.
Agarim to the side and ask him to purchase me a small cask of whatever alcohol they may have at the bar while they're there.
Irina interjects between the two of you, and she goes, "It's fine. I'll clean it up as soon as it needs to be done."
I don't understand what needs to be cleaned up as I walk out the house.
Does this house look like it's made of twigs, feathers, and bird shit?
Such language from a man, such a holy man.
Well, Irina, what do you? This paladin's not very tolerant, is he?
Okay, so who is going to the tavern?
I'm gonna go dig the hole.
I'm staying with the body.
I'm gonna go get the brother.
Okay,
Who's staying with
Agrim
the
is
body?
going to the...
David?
Hold on.
I pick up David and I take him with me.
Okay, hold on. Who is going to the tavern?
I am.
Agrim is. Is it just Agrim?
Oh, I'm just gonna fetch him and bring him back.
Okay. So, if it's just Agrim, is everyone else staying at the mansion?
Yeah.
I'm going to.
Okay,
I
Agrim
think
and...
Tika left.
Tika is... Okay, so Tika, where are you going?
I am so confused right now, but it's okay. Are we gonna dig the hole while other people go get the brother?
Yeah. Yeah, you're fine.
Right? Okay.
Yeah, that's what we're doing.
Am I going by myself to dig this hole, or is everybody staying at the mansion while two people go look for the brother?
I'll go help him dig the hole as well.
Thank you.
Okay, so 2 of you are going to the tavern, 2 of you are going to the church, and the rest of you are staying with Irina at the house.
That would be David and I, yes.
Okay. So,
My 2 spellcasters protecting her.
alright, we will go ahead and, since the tavern is closer, Agarim and Emhyr, you will arrive at the tavern before they get up all the way there. So you guys basically walk together until you're just outside the tavern. For anyone who doesn't remember, this is called the Blood of the Vine Tavern. You can tell that because as you approach, you can see a sign hanging precariously askew that has the name written on it. And you can, if you sort of peer up at the sign, you notice that the tavern was originally called, originally written on the sign is the Blood of the, Jesus Christ. The sign says Blood of the Vine Tavern, and the F
Jesus Christ.
an N has been scratched over the F, so it reads Blood on the Vine Tavern.
Ominous.
That took so much work to get out of my mouth.
And that's what she said.
Just could not say it. So Agarim and Emhyr, you stand outside of the tavern. I assume you're just going to enter it.
Yeah, no reason to tarry.
Okay. You open the door and you find a finely appointed tavern, about 60 square feet, probably. There's a blazing fire in the hearth that gives a scant warmth to the few huddled souls in the tavern. They include a barkeep, 3 brightly garbed people sitting near the fire, and a young man who bears a striking resemblance to the corpse lying inside of the Koljanovic Manor.
What was his name again?
His name was Ismark.
Ismark?
Yes. He was referred to as Ismark and Ismark the Lesser.
Jorg. That's quite a title. I suppose if we see him, then
Yeah, I'll head up to him.
Okay. So as you approach, he looks up and he sees you, and his eyes light up a little bit, and he smiles. And as you are near his table, he goes, "Greetings, travelers. Have a seat. Join me for a drink. So rare that we get people coming through Barovia."
We were actually sent to retrieve you. We intend to inter your recently passed father at dawn, so your presence is needed back at the manor.
So it would seem that Irina has enlisted you to finally put our father to rest. This is good news. The others were not interested in giving us any help. Well, let me finish my ale, and we'll head that direction and finally put him to rest. Does that sound good?
Very well.
How full is this cup of ale?
You glance in, and it's nearing the bottom.
As you wish.
Aside, I'll kind of gesture to the barkeep. I'll be like, "How much for an ale?"
You gesture to him how much for an ale?
Well, you know what I mean there. Yeah.
Do you go up to him?
He spoke in common sign language.
You guys approached Ismark at a table. Would you like to go up to the bar and speak with the barkeep?
I thought he was at the bar. Yeah. I'll just kind of ask him, just curiosity.
Yeah, there's not like a bar. There is a barkeep behind a counter, which you could call a bar, but there's no stools at a bar or anything here. So you approach him and you say,
"Oh snap! I say, excuse me, my kind sir. Might I inquire as to the cost of an ale?"
The pudgy little man turns around and he sort of strokes his second chin and he goes, "A small glass of wine, 1 copper. You can have a whole pitcher for a silver. What can I get you?"
That's not bad.
Change.
As you sort of talk with him, he slowly cleans empty glasses, like a barkeep in a movie.
Interesting.
Angram, the man is just about finished with his ale.
Oh no! I'm not here to drink it. I'm here to bring some to a friend. I'll ask him for the. Wait, how much would fit in a water skin? Is that about a pitcher?
Pour out all my water. You can just fill this up.
Sure. You could probably get a small pitcher in your water skin.
Well, doesn't the water skin hold a couple gallons or something, or a gallon?
Yeah, I'm not really sure, but yeah, you can get a pitcher of wine in your water skin.
I think it's a pound or something that it has.
4 pints, so you can definitely get a pitcher in.
Then yeah, I'll hand him a silver, and I'll say, I'll be fill her up.
Greetings, sweaty McSalty balls. Welcome to the.
What the hell?
Welcome,
sweaty McSalty balls.
Hey, get Swifty. Awesome.
Okay. So you're gonna purchase one?
I'll hand him a silver, and I say, I'll take a pitcher of your fine wine.
He says, "Of course, a pitcher of our finest wine," and he pulls out a glass pitcher that's sort of scuffed up, and you can see him pour wine out of a wooden keg, and he sets it on the counter, takes your silver piece from off the counter. Don't forget to mark it off your character sheet.
How much gold is in it? I mean, how much silver is in a gold?
10.
10? Okay,
Yes.
So we got 9 and then 9 silver now.
Make sure you rename your water skin to a wine skin.
Hell yeah. I unceremoniously fill my water skin with it. I say, "Thank you, sir," and then I go back to the table to see if my brother has finished his ale yet.
By the time Agram returns to the table, Ismark has finished his ale, and he stands up Says, are we ready to proceed then? Back to the house.
So yes, indeed. I shall lead the way.
Alright, let's go.
And so you guys make your way, and as you walk, Ismark makes small talk with you. He says, it's good to see that my sister found some knights of God to protect us in the interment of my father. He's been laying in our home for 3 days now. It's rather unpleasant, but you know, at least the attacks have stopped.
Yes,
They stopped after your father died?
Of course, yes.
Of course.
I'm sorry. I suppose I've been spending too much time with Irina. We mostly talk to each other these days, so I forget that not everyone has been locked in that mansion with us. The attack stopped the night my father's heart gave out. After that, we were unbothered.
You speak of this as though it was the expected outcome.
Not expected. I've simply become warned from the things that have occurred.
Such as? Anything besides the attacks? And the fire?
And the fog, and the beasts that constantly roam the woods, and the constant scent of undeath that wafts on every breeze through the valley of Barovia.
Do you consider yourself a lowly servant of Barovia?
I suppose I am now that my father has perished. Before that, I was the lowly son of a servant of Barovia. They call me Ismark the Lesser, where my father was Ismark the Greater. Not that anyone called him that.
Is your sister, is she your older sister or younger sister?
Irina is younger than I, barely. She's adopted. I'm unsure of the age she truly was when Kolyan found her, but I know she was an infant.
Found her where?
You stumbled upon her traveling Barovia. I'm not sure. He never really told the story. Ah, we approach. Shall we head inside?
Yes, indeed. The blessings of the day go with us.
Okay.
Sweaty McSweaty balls.
So
Hold the mirror
on
to his face. That's not a
to
bad-
who headed Walu and
I gotta go.
David.
I gotta go let the dog out, so.
Yeah, we're hanging out with Irina.
That's fine. You're not in the scene anyway. Okay. Sorry. Walu, you guys are with Irina. Who went to the church?
Nightbreeze and Tika.
Nightbreeze and Tika.
I just realized we are the weirdest group to be walking to a graveyard to dig a grave.
Yeah, we'll be fine. Like, what are you talking about? Nobody respects living and the dead more than I.
Birdman and the Torch. Oh, the monk, rather.
Sorry, continue.
Okay, so atop a slight rise against the roots of the pillar stone that support a large castle that looms over top stands a gray sagging edifice of stone and wood. The church has obviously weathered the assaults of evil creatures for centuries on end and is worn and weary, even more so than the mansion that you just came from. A bell tower rises toward the back, and a flickering light shines through holes in the shingled roof. The rafters strain feebly against their load. As you approach the church doors, you see that the heavy wooden doors of the church are covered with claw marks and scarred by fire.
These markings look very familiar, wouldn't you say?
Yeah, it seems like every house in the town has it.
How about we try going around the church? We just need to go dig up the hole, right?
I mean, we should probably talk with the priest and find out where he's going to be buried.
I hesitantly agree and push him in front of the door.
I'm gonna go ahead and knock on the door.
And I ready an action to fight.
Okay, you knock on the door, and are you just giving like a normal light knock?
Yeah, I'm not pounding on it. I'm just.
Okay, you knock lightly on the heavy wooden doors, and you don't get an immediate response.
Okay.
I tell him knock harder, as I have my frostbite spell ready for action.
Okay, this time I 3 good pounds on the door.
Okay, you knock heavily, and you suddenly take notice when a mumbling sound that was coming from behind the door that you hadn't quite picked up on stops, and the door pulls open, and you hear sort of a low and worn voice say, yes, children, welcome. And as he looks out the door, you see like he makes contact with you, and he slams the door shut. And you can hear him praying behind the door, saying, Lord, protect us as these creatures of night come for me to take my soul and the soul of my cursed son. Protect us here in the house of the Lord.
Hey! What are you, sir? We are not here to kill you, sir.
He continues to pray, and the door stays shut.
I shout, we come to dig the grave of the Burgomaster.
Roll a persuasion check.
You got it right the first time.
The Burgomaster. Persuasion.
And reap.
Oh, shit.
He says, "Be banished, creatures of the night. You are not welcome here. This is a house of the Lord. Return to your dark master.
His daughter...
Tell him he has taken enough from me."
His daughter... I forgot her name. What's her name? I asked...
Irina.
We
were sent by Irina to dig her father's grave to prepare for the funeral.
Nightbreeze, go ahead and make a persuasion.
Oh boy, I have bad charisma. Persuasion.
Not bad.
Yeah.
He says, "I will not be swayed by the trickery of your dark lord. Whisper your cursed lies somewhere else. You are not welcome here."
Is there anything we can say to you that will prove that we're not monsters here trying to kill you?
I tell him, he's not going to tell us, you moron.
He continues to pray behind the door. You can hear him. He prays loudly as if to drown out what you're saying to him.
Nightbreeze, look. He's obviously not going to let us in. We don't need to go in. Let's just go to the back and dig the grave.
Can I try and force my way in?
Sure. Make a strength check.
Shit, nice.
Oh, whoops. I was hitting the wrong button.
As he goes through the door, I go,
It's a good way to say we're harmless, break down the door.
I'm not trying to break the door down, I'm just trying to push the door in.
We're not here to hurt you. As you push the door open.
Basically.
Hey, out of character, do you have the letter, Brandon? Nightbreeze? Any of the letters from the Burgomaster?
I guess I was the last one to have them, so yeah.
Cool. Maybe you can. That's what you can use. I remind you, the letters, as you push the door open, I guess.
Sorry, I had to bring something up real quick. Okay. So you pretty easily push the door open. You're clearly stronger than the man trying to hold it shut. And as you do, he sort of falls back terrified. And he just sort of clasps his hands in front of him and holds his head to his hands, and he says, begins praying again.
I jump in front of him and I make my head spin around in a 360 and then all the way back.
Why would you do that?
Little Nicky's the deep south.
You do that, but he's praying with his eyes closed over his clasped hands, so he clearly does not see it.
I get up and I'm an idiot.
I'm gonna put my hand on his shoulder and like, "Good sir, we are not here to harm you." And I pull out the letter. We've come here. We are helping Irina dig the grave of her father, so we could put him to bury him and put him at rest.
It's disgraceful the way they've been leaving him in that house to rot.
Okay. Who hit Nightbreeze? You have the letter. Make another persuasion with advantage.
Oh. Persuasion. Hey.
Okay, so he sort of pauses and he looks up at you, and he says, "You are not creatures of the night. You are not agents of Lord Strahd.
No.
Come to finish me."
I go ding ding ding.
We are adventurers.
Can I get perception checks from you guys?
Yes.
Is it a visual perception?
It is not.
It is not.
Oh yeah, I have to clarify that for you.
Where's my
Gotta be
perception?
different.
Because I'm blind in one eye.
Okay, you can both hear like sort of like a muffled screaming sound echoing inside the church. It's clearly coming from down the hall. So I should describe when you came in the doors. You stepped into like a 10-foot wide, 20-foot long hall that leads to a brightly lit chapel. The hall itself is unlit and reeks of mildew. There's 4 doors, 2 on either side of the hall, and you can see in the chapel that it's strewn with all sorts of debris. And as you sort of...
Sweaty McSweaty wants to know what our passive perception is. Where do I see that?
They would have to check. It would be 10 plus your perception is what it is.
Oh, 13.
So mine is 15.
I got 12.
Yeah, mine's 15.
10 plus perception? What the hell's my goddamn... Oh, 15.
Cool.
Yeah, so that's technically you guys can't roll below that, but since I've been skipping over the passive stuff and just been peering at it when I want to use it on your character sheets. And so like as you're sort of you catch an earful of this sort of muffled screaming sound, and then suddenly like a loud clear scream like cracks through the church, and you can see the priest flinch. And he says, "Yes, Kolyan must be buried. Burgomasters are buried at the dawn."
I don't even listen to him. I just, wherever that came from, I kind of like dash towards it.
Okay. You run into the open hall that is now covered in like smashed pews, wooden pews that are just completely like left in pieces. At the front of the chapel there is a stone altar, and you can like it's clear that the screaming is echoing from somewhere in this room through a muffled
as a ritual I cast Wild Cunning. What the hell?
That's gonna take 10 minutes to cast.
Oh, okay. I thought it was like a 10-minute cast. Like it lasts for 10 minutes. My bad. I wanted to see what the footsteps
when you do a ritual cast, you it's 10 minutes plus the normal casting time to cast it. There's no footsteps.
Okay.
Like if you're like looking around on the floor, there's no footsteps anywhere aside from.
If there was anything to track, I was gonna have the spirits help me. But cool. All right.
If you follow the sound. Since that is what you're particularly interested in, you find that in one corner of the room set in the floor is a heavy wooden trap door held shut with a chain and padlock, and you can hear like screams of anguish coming through the door.
Nightbreeze, come check this out. Help me, man. Help!
While he's motioning me over, I'm going to turn to the priest and be like, "Are you holding people here?"
Yes, I hold someone here.
Who?
But he will be cured, and the Lord will cure him. Is that why you're here? Have you come to free him? To be another spawn under Lord Strahd?
No, I want to know what's ailing him.
This does not sound natural, I yell from the other end.
He says, "Of course it's not natural. It is the affliction that Strahd leaves on those he drains of life. But the Lord will bring him back to me. For I am
John?
a devout worshiper. Yeah, what's up?
Sorry to interrupt you, man. Do the screams sound menacing, like an animal, like something they can potentially hurt me?
They sound like someone hurt, maybe, or scared. And as you're standing there listening to them, you hear like the sound of a young man echo from under the trap door, and he says, "Father, Father, I'm hungry. Feed me."
Damn.
I just stand there staring, and like I just have like this blank stare as I'm listening to this. Confused.
The priest begins praying over and over again.
I'm gonna turn to Tika. We don't know enough about this to mess with this guy in the cellar or whatever he's in. Let's dig the grave.
Let's do what we
Get
came
back
here
to
to
the
do,
group.
and then tell the group what we saw. I hear you. Same
Yes.
page.
Okay,
do
so I'm
this.
turning back to the priest. Where is the grave site the Burgomaster will be laid in, so we can dig his grave and prepare it for him.
He pauses briefly in the prayer, and he says that the Burgomaster can be buried anywhere in the graveyard. There are several open plots. His body needs to be lowered at dawn, and I need to perform the ceremony.
Do you have shovels that we can use to prepare the grave?
There are already several empty graves.
Oh, they're already dug?
There are always bodies to bury in Barovia.
So we just need to get the body here. You have to prepare it or do your ritual, and then we will lower it into the grave.
At dawn, precisely.
Um,
You are what?
Sorry, go ahead.
Mhm.
Go ahead, go ahead.
You are welcome to join me in the church overnight. You can bear witness to the strange things that occur.
We'll go get our party before that happens. We'll be back.
As Night Priest starts heading out, I'm right behind him, but I asked the priest on my way out. I hold Night Priest by the collar to stop him, and I say, "What? How did you guys get this guy in the basement? What happened? Who's his father he's calling for?"
I am his father.
Father or priest father?
He is my son. Strahd came for him.
He and Night Priest
he
look at each
woke
other.
with a strange madness. I managed to lock him in the basement where he has been.
Is he
And soon, if I continue to pray, soon the Lord will cure him of his ailment and bring my son back to me. I am a loyal follower. The Lord will bring him back to me.
I ask him if is he restrained out there? Is he restrained?
He is not restrained. He is only locked down there.
Maybe
The
this
door-
is something... Nope, go ahead.
The door must remain locked.
Maybe this is something the paladin will be able to get a better insight on.
I agree.
Okay. We're gonna go back to our party. And I'm telling this to the priest. We're gonna go back to our party, inform everybody of the plans that you have set, and we will get ready to bring... what's his name? What's the Burgomaster's name again?
Kolyan.
Kolyan. We will bring Koyon here before dawn. Dusk. Dawn.
Dawn. Pick the lock. Sweaty
Okay.
McSalty balls, you instigator.
I'm ready to get going.
Yeah,
Back to
I'm
the
right
house.
behind you, man. Let's get the hell out of
Okay.
Dodge.
Walu and David, is there anything you guys wanted to talk with Irina about while the others are out? Or do you guys just hang out and make small talk?
You make advances on her.
I was gonna say, while we have time, why not play a love ballad for her?
I mean, I
Um,
could.
Speaking of
I
time,
can
John,
xylophone with you.
What was that?
speaking of time, what time is it when we leave the church? Like, do we still have like a few hours before dawn?
Before dawn, you have a
Right.
lot of time. It's like the middle of the day.
Dawn
you
is
guys,
Still?
Isn't dawn
Damn.
morning?
Yeah, dawn is when the sun rises. You
Okay,
guys left her mansion at like 2 p.m.
Okay, I'm just making sure that I have my understanding of dawn correct, because it keeps sounding like dusk that everyone is thinking, and not dawn in the morning.
Dawn, when the sun rises.
Yeah, right. Okay.
I ask her, do you have any more of that dried meat? That stuff is pretty good.
She says, yes, I have more. I may need to refill the stock at the rate you're going through. You eat quite a bit for a man of your stature.
Gnomes are very hardy people.
She gets you more dried beef.
Yes. Walu?
I ask if she has any ale while we wait for my hopeful delivery.
She says, we do not keep ale, but I have some wine. I can pour you a glass. And she pours you a glass of wine.
Excellent, thanks.
So, Agarim and Emhyr, you eventually make your way back to the mansion. With Ismark at your side. And you come in the door and well, actually you don't come in the door because Ismark bangs on the door and he says, "Dear sister, I have returned with your new companions."
Hey,
and
Tally are back.
she unblocks the door and you all step through. He says, I'm glad to see you found some companions to help us, and he sees Walu sitting in the chair.
Yeah, I was trying to talk. I didn't realize my mic was muted. I was gonna warn the dude about the appearance of our companions.
Oh, okay. So he steps through and he looks at them and he's like, yes, Emhyr, I see that you were right. Strange companion indeed. Does it hurt to be on fire all the time?
It's a little toasty, but no, I'm good.
Is it not a perpetual agony?
It is not. It's actually helps a lot in the winter.
I see Walu drinking the wine, and I'm like, oh, okay, yeah. I mean, it's not like a winter bring you some ready. No, this is.
Whoa! Hey, Agarim. Welcome back, buddy.
While everyone's talking, I'm just gonna kind of pace around the room, trying to glance for I don't know, like any writing that it was like maybe clearly signed by Ismark. Like if there's any letters or anything around the house.
Sure. As you start to wander around the house, Ismark starts to follow you and sort of strike up a conversation with you. And he's like, Sir Emhyr, are you looking for anything? Perhaps I could assist you. We don't have much in the home at this time, but he doesn't prevent you from going anywhere. He just seems to be walking behind you and offering assistance.
I'm just biding my time until dawn. There doesn't seem to be much to do around here. How do you entertain yourself?
Well, I spend my time at the Blood of the Vine.
Yes. Well, that can only work for a man for so long. How can you look after a town if you're constantly indulging at the tavern?
Sir Emhyr, I don't know if you've looked around, but there's not much left of this town to look after. In fact, sitting in the Blood of the Vine gives you a view of most of what's left.
Well, it's hard to tell. So many of the townspeople have boarded themselves inside of their homes that I don't know what's abandoned and what isn't. What's inhabited by zombies or who knows what. So maybe it's not as barren as you imagine. Maybe the townspeople are just cowering in fear.
Perhaps it's hard to govern a people who hide in their homes, and I'm not about to go knocking on every door in Barovia, lest something I don't want to meet answer the door.
And how long has it been like this? Men need a leader, you know.
Leaders are often left dead here in Barovia.
We're all left dead sooner or later.
But why speed it along, my friend?
I just sort of like shake my head rather than openly insult the dude.
At this point, Nightbreeze and Tika, you guys arrive back at the manor. You arrive and you noticed when you walk up to the... Yeah.
I don't know if you caught it. I mean, I know you were busy, but we were kind of having a little chat while you guys were talking. We were discussing maybe taking a little detour on the way to the manor, going down this way, just around to see if we peek through the windows, walk through through these little between some houses, see if we find anything worthwhile or interesting.
Are you telling me, or are
I'm
you guys
telling you,
talking in character?
No, we talked in character via the chat on Roll20.
Yeah, but Yanko, my last one was kind of...
Oh, I'm sorry. I just got back to my seat. Okay. Fine. I say. Yeah, we just go back to the mansion.
Yeah.
Ismark, could you do me a favor?
Of course. What can I assist you with?
So, after we deal with the business of burying your father, we will probably get on the road soon. Gee. Head down the road again and continue on with our travels. I was wondering if perhaps you could write down directions to the next nation or land or town, whatever it is that's around these parts.
Yes, I could do that. If you're looking for just the next town over, you're going to run into Vallaki first. It's a ways, but you can certainly get there on foot if you have the tenacity. I would recommend that you shy away from Castle Ravenloft and protect yourselves while you're on the road. Even the roads are not safe here.
Is there a desk nearby?
Is there a desk nearby?
Yeah, where this conversation is happening?
I mean, there is in the drawing room.
Okay, is that not where everybody is?
Are we back yet or no?
You guys are back, yes. M here is not in the main area. He's walking through the house with Ismark.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Ismarky.
Yeah. M here. Anything else you were saying?
Directions to Castle Ravenloft. I'd like to speak with this Strahd. I'm walking him back to the drawing room and handing him a piece of paper and a quill.
Okay. He draws you out a map that shows a winding road that travels east, back and forth over a river. It splits. One travels along the river, and another goes through the road. Once it crosses the river back, it splits once again. The second fork right leads up to Castle Ravenloft, he says, and if you head left, it will eventually take you to Vallaki. He says Castle Ravenloft is northwest of the village, but you'll need to take the road to get there. It's not feasible to travel through the woods and over the mountains to get to it.
Does he write down? Does he label everything?
Yeah, he makes pretty rudimentary drawings. He says if you...
No, does he write the names down?
He writes the names of the villages, and he writes Castle Ravenloft on it, yeah.
Okay. Thank you, sir.
The only thing he writes are Barovia, Castle Ravenloft, and Vallaki.
Okay.
He says, if you head from here on foot, it will take you a few hours to reach the castle, and longer to reach Vallaki, probably twice as long.
What would we expect in Vallaki?
It has been a long time since I've traveled there. I hear their festivities are regular. They seem to be rather cheerful considering the circumstances.
Circumstances?
And he sort of just gestures like all around to the house with broken windows and that are boarded up and just the disheveled nature of the home.
So Valaki is also ruled after by Lord Strahd? Or ruled over? Yeah.
Lord Strahd maintains claim over all of Barovia and all of the towns that exist within it, unfortunately for those that reside within those towns. Some of the Vistani make camp on the roads, but I wouldn't recommend it. It's not safe out there. It's barely safe inside the gates of the towns.
Do the Vistani ever come through Barovia, the town of Barovia?
Of course, Blood of the Vine is owned by a few Vistani.
Oh.
They were sitting in there beside the fire when you came and retrieved me.
My mind was elsewhere.
You'll always be able to recognize them. They wear bright patchwork clothes. A strange thing to wear here, but they all seem to like that style.
So me and Nightbreeze kind of like burst through the door, and I'm like,
I'll
"Hey,
just nod at
what's
him.
up, guys?"
Okay, what is... Oh, sorry, go ahead.
David still has the letters, right?
Nope, Nightbreeze
I
does.
have them.
No,
Never said them. Okay, so what was everyone else doing during that time? You guys would have arrived while he was off in the house, having a conversation with Ismark.
Well, as soon as we walk
I
in,
switched to playing my pan flute.
I wanted to relay the information about the grave's already buried, and I wanted to wait for the paladin to get back to talk about the priest's son.
yeah, that was
Okay.
some very
So when you get back and you
stuff.
mention that, Irina would have said, your friends already arrived with my brother Ismark. I believe Emhyr is walking through the house with him right now. And of course, she gestures to Agarim, who is in the room. Agarim is here with me.
I go and get M here to get us together and powwow what we're gonna do the next day.
Okay. At some point, when you finish your conversation, Tika catches you and Ismark in the hallway. Emhyr and gestures you to follow him back to the main area.
Okay. I'll go.
So you all are standing there.
Okay. Emhyr, you know, I guess, you know how to sense evil, right? Being a paladin and all.
Remember, that's like an out-of-game...
Oh, it is?
I mean, like, you don't really know that
No.
Emhyr can sense evil because he's a paladin. I
Fair
mean,
enough.
a paladin's not even necessarily like a thing.
Okay, yeah, then I'll just... Okay. So, the grave is already prepared at the church. There may be a problem with the priest and his son being a potential vampire or servant of Strahd. I wasn't really sure how the group wanted to handle that.
Vampire, you say? And I stopped playing my xylophone. I just set down the bones that I was using. Vampire.
Well, not positive a vampire, but the priest says he is cursed and is a servant of Strahd now. And he has him chained in a basement, or locked in a basement. And I didn't really know what to do about that.
This would definitely be a problem for tomorrow's burial.
And technically, they said we had to bury him before dawn, but not necessarily at dawn. So what's stopping us from just getting it done?
Yeah, they said
Isn't it
at dawn.
It's gotta be at dawn.
Not before at.
At dawn.
Hmm. I see.
Well-
So what did they say about us staying with them?
He was fine with us staying at the church. It was in pretty beat up condition,
I'm
though.
not sure that would be the best course of action if there's a suspicious creature in the basement
I mean,
or
it's
wherever.
It
his
is
son.
an abomination.
I think we could take care of it.
I think we should.
With plenty of time for at least some rest.
The priest is hoping that he can cure his son by praying for him. And
What a moron!
He's praying to the wrong god.
I don't know how well that'll go for whatever has happened to him. We don't even know what has happened to him since we haven't seen him.
Whatever isn't down in that basement, it's definitely not his son anymore.
You
Well.
can't know that for sure.
As I've eaten a hefty portion of Miss Irena's dried meat, I say we leave and go to the church.
We should check it out.
Are we taking the body with us?
Oh, yeah.
Yes.
It saves the trip, yeah.
Okay.
I would caution against this.
What's your fear, Pat?
There's no fear involved. It's just
Really?
a matter
Because it
of.
really sounds like you're afraid.
God.
I'm just in the back.
Bullets
Ooh.
have been shot. Fired.
I pick my bones back up and I'm like, ding, ding.
Well, I'm not sure that the thing that spits out its dinner on the floor should lecture me about my emotions.
I turn to everybody and goes, he's afraid. How about we all just go? And leave this coward here.
Yeah, let's go to the church. Take the body. Let's go.
I am definitely interested if there's any sign of vampire there.
We'll check it out.
Guess the party has spoken.
Who's gonna help me with this body? I start lifting up the body gently from his head.
He's in a casket, isn't
He's
he?
in the casket.
Is it already in the casket? Oh, okay. I wasn't sure.
Let's stir the coffin.
I start
Caressing
gently.
the dead body.
Yes, I start caressing the body. I go.
I kind of look at the whole group and I go,
No.
David the gnome will help.
I mean, okay. I ask a casket. What's the point of a casket? Can we just bury our dead? Okay, whatever.
To stop you from eating it.
I just pick up the piece of wood that the body is laying in.
I'm like,
What's
well,
up?
you guys have fun carrying him.
A little help, David? We're a little short-handed. And I get the other side of it.
There is a lid for the coffin sitting there as well. She did mention sealing it.
Oh, it's not sealed. Oh, dang. Yes. We should, perhaps hide it.
I put it back down. I
That
go,
would
I
be
don't understand the
wise.
concept of this, and I'll let you guys deal with that. Let's get a move on.
I turn to Irina and ask her if she has any hammer and nails to close up the coffin with.
She gestures to the corner of the room where the nails are sitting in a box beside a mallet.
Alright, I'm gonna grab them and attempt to nail up the coffin.
Okay, yeah, you do it.
Cool. One-eyed.
You smack your thumb a couple times with depth perception.
While you guys are doing that, I'm gonna go look for a snack. I start going into the rooms again. But as I do it, I kind of purposely do it, trying to go into a brother's room, see if I can find anything there that can give me some clues as to what kind of person he is.
I mean, you don't really know which room the brother's room is, so it's hard to tell. You make it upstairs to where there are rooms that are clearly owned by other people. You identify Irina's room as it contains gowns, but it's hard for you to tell what might have been the Burgomaster's room or Ismark's room.
Are there any journals laying around or pictures on the wall? I look around for that kind of stuff.
I mean, you see pictures of members of the family in both rooms. There are no immediate journals around. So Nightbreeze, you nail the coffin shut. Tika has wandered off somewhere in the house. What are you guys doing while Tika's gone?
I want to walk up to Irina and give her the 3 silver I pocketed it off the dead guy. And be like, here, for all the meat I ate.
And she says, thank you. That is most kind. And she puts it in her, a coin purse that she slips from under her jacket.
Give her a wink, and I walk off.
Tika, are you looking for anything else? Anything in specific, or?
I mean, I don't want to take too much time. I'm just kind of like, with the excuse of going to get food, I just kind of peek around, see if I see any clues. And if nothing, then I just head back with the group.
Can you make a perception check?
Yes, thank you.
Oh.
So you take time to peer around, but much like earlier, there doesn't seem to be anything of particular interest. It seems like a home that's lived in. And without rifling through every drawer and box, nothing seems out of the ordinary.
Okay. Alright,
Okay, so the rest of you lift up the casket, the coffin, and you start heading down the road with it. Is that right?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, and where are you guys heading? Just straight to the church?
The church.
Straight.
Okay. Don't tell me how to DM my game, Sweaty McSalty Balls. The character is specifically taking the action to perceive. He's looking for things. That's an active check. Okay, so you guys make your way up to the church. There are plenty of you to hold the coffin. Tika, eventually you come back from your search and you find that everyone has left the house.
Is M here still in the house?
No, everyone's gone.
Oh, okay. I rush off to catch up.
Take some shit on the floor.
Tika eventually catches up with you, and the group makes its way to the church at the northern end of town. Do you guys enter the church, or are you gonna go around it, or what's the plan?
I'm probably through it, yeah.
Yeah, I
take
tell
it
them.
in because the priest still has to bless it and do whatever he needs.
He's expecting us, and I open the door.
Okay, you all open the hall of the church to reveal the 10 by 20 hallway.
Hold on. Isn't the Ismark with us or anything?
Yeah, Ismark's with you.
Well, what is? I mean, this is his show. What's he saying?
He's walking along with you. He's just walking along solemnly. If I assumed one of you is pushing the door open, if you don't, Ismark will open the church door. But there are 6 of you, so I wasn't sure how many of you were actually carrying the coffin.
I am not carrying any part of that coffin.
Well, when they stop in front of the door and try to figure out what to do, I catch up, I push open the door, and let them know that they're expecting us.
You guys open the door, and it reveals the 10 by 20 hallway leading into the brightly lit chapel with busted pews, and there's a worn human priest kneeling at the stone altar, quietly praying. Anyone who wasn't here before is met with the unpleasant sound of a muffled scream that echoes out, and every once in a while is broken by an especially loud scream, and you can hear the sound of a young man begging through a trapdoor in the corner to be fed.
I look at Night Breeze with excitement and I go, "Vampire?"
Maybe. We don't know.
And I kind of just get a little sad and just keep carrying the casket, I guess.
So where you guys are entering the church, or you just?
I guess take it because you said it's a stone. There's a stone altar at the one side, right?
There's a stone altar at the front of it, where there are candles and religious symbols.
Is that altar big enough to put the casket on, or?
I mean, if you cleared all of the candles and religious symbols off of it, yeah.
Never mind then. I guess we set it down and have the priest do what he needs to do to the coffin. I'm kind of checking with the group.
Is the brother gonna go back to the mansion?
Are you asking him that?
Yeah, I forgot his name.
Ismark. His name is Ismark.
Ismark, are you gonna return to the mansion?
He says, "I will remain here with my father. Presumably, all of you will remain here with me, and we will bury him at dawn with a prayer to the morning Lord, as is customary."
Okay. Hey guys, I'll be back. I need to go to the mansion and tell Irina to please put pickles into the home.
Irina's here with you.
Oh God! Well, then I gotta go get pickles. I gotta go get pickles.
Give up.
Okay, so suddenly David gets a look on his face like he's forgotten something very important and runs out of the chapel doors. Go ahead.
Can I ask the priest? Like, I'm walked over, and I'm like, I hear there's some ailment afflicting this child as a fellow man of the faith. I implore you to allow me to have a look at him.
You're not a man of the faith.
You want to look at the son? Is that what you said?
Yes.
He says no. He cannot be. He cannot be released. The morning Lord will cure him through enough prayer. He merely needs time. He hasn't had enough time.
I go to the priest and I say, this man knows what he's talking about. He may be able to help your son a lot sooner.
I'm familiar with curatives, as I'm a man of God as well. I practice healing magic and restoration.
Go ahead and make a persuasion check.
Everybody isn't
As he's
worshiping
making...
the same God. It's not like we're all Christians hanging out.
We're leaving
at,
it vague.
Catholic Church.
We didn't say which God.
I'm a cleric, man. I'm dressed as the cleric.
It
Yeah,
doesn't work that way.
that-
Everybody worships different gods.
You are a cleric of a different religion, so it's sort of like a rabbi walking into like a Christian church and being like, "I am a man of God." Like, it's technically true. You're just a man of a different God. But make a persuasion check.
And then before I do that, I'm going to use my cantrip guidance on myself.
So you're going to just take a
rabbi
moment
going
to
into
cast
the
a spell.
Worships.
Well,
the
it's
same God.
it's like a sort of blessing on myself, as
Your persuasion.
a presentation of power, holy power. There we go.
As he's doing that, I lean over to the priest and I'm like, "This dude cured my punctured lung. It was insane. He's good, I promise."
Okay, but you already were trying to persuade him before you cast guidance.
Sorry.
So
I'll do my roll. Persuasion, you said, right?
yeah, persuasion.
Oh.
The priest goes, "Absolutely not. It cannot be allowed. My son will be cured through prayers to the morning Lord, for he will bring my son back to the light. I will be more than happy to assist you with Kolyan and his burial. He was a kind man, but I will have no more talk of my son."
Okay, then
I ask the son, how should we prepare for your father's funeral? What are your customs here?
Irina cuts in and she says, "Well, he must be buried precisely at dawn. Father Donovic will say a prayer to the morning Lord, and we will lower him into the earth. We have prepared the body as is required. He has been placed in a coffin. Now we just wait."
Am I back yet? Have I come running back in with pickles?
What was that?
Have I come running back into the church with pickles?
Okay, yes. So David returns with pickles in hand, coming through the church doors and shutting the doors behind him.
Hey guys, I'm back. I forgot pickles.
Is the llama in the church?
Yes, he's right here.
The holy llama.
The holy llama. Cool.
Whew.
Okay. Well, I guess we should get some rest for tomorrow. I kind of try to tell everybody we should go to. Is it nighttime by this time at least?
I think you're confused about like how long it takes to just walk across the town and have a conversation.
Dude, it's probably like 4 p.m.
I mean, to be
Yeah,
fair,
yeah.
We had been having a conversation in the Burgomaster's manor, and then like 4 hours passed.
Hey man, I've had some pretty deep conversations that last 4 hours. I'm saying.
It's probably like evening is probably beginning to start. It's probably like 4 or 5 o'clock.
so
Rest.
Well, I guess I'll start walking around the church, exploring it. What's to the left of the church from the entrance?
Let me bring you to. So from the entrance, well, like I said, when the first guys entered, when you come in the hallway, there are 4 doors, 2 on either side that flank it.
Okay, then I mean, if we're taking turns, what's happening next? I would like to go through the left door.
Which, like the left door when you enter
Yeah,
the first door on the left?
Yeah, the first door on the left when you enter.
Okay, you open the door, and this dirty, lightless room contains only a wooden bed with a straw-filled mattress. Mounted above the bed's headboard is a wooden holy symbol.
I chuckle.
Is anyone else doing anything while he's poking his head in rooms?
I am tending to Pickles, kind of brushing her fur and giving her a treat because I forgot her.
I'm just walking down towards the altar. I wanted to take a look at it.
Okay, you approach the altar. You guys notice that pretty much anytime you're not engaged with Father Donovic, he is at that altar praying nonstop. You approach it, and he's kneeled with his hands clasped over it, saying a prayer to the morning Lord, and there are 2 lit candles and several holy symbols rested upon it.
Cool.
Night Breeze, what are you doing?
I want to go up to the priest and ask him, is there anything he needs us to do to help prepare for anything? Is there anything else, or is it just waiting till dawn?
He says, we must simply wait until dawn to bury the body.
Then do you have rooms that we can stay in for the night?
He says, you are welcome to rest here in the chapel.
It's just a big open chapel, right?
With a bunch of busted pews, yeah.
Awesome.
There's plenty of room to just chill out.
Yeah. Okay. I'm gonna go off in a corner and meditate then.
Okay. Anyone else? I'm here.
Oh,
I'm
for
just
the
gonna
last
wait
thing,
till morning.
Last thing for me, I have a little spark of remembrance, and I walk over to Agarim, and I'm like, "Hey, how did the trip to the Bargo or the tavern?"
So I managed to get some wine, but I see you found some while I was away.
Oh, that was just a sip.
The free
I
wine.
couldn't wait. How much would I owe you if I could get that from you?
The nonsense. This is to share.
Oh, I will remember.
We are the same party.
I will remember that. Thank you, sir. I say that as I hold my hand out.
M here, you said you were just waiting till the morning?
Yeah.
Okay. Did I miss anyone? Is anyone doing anything else before we get back to Tika poking around?
Not quite.
Hey, Wally, can I get a swig of that wine real quick?
Oh yeah, by all means. I pass it to my companions.
Yeah.
Okay, so the rest of the party sits in the pew sharing wine. And Tika, you continue your search. Did you want to just go through all the other rooms? One at a time.
Yeah, I'll go to the next room.
Okay,
There's
so
one on the far right.
Okay, so not the next one on the left. You're gonna go across the hall.
Yeah.
Okay, so you cross the hall and open a wooden door. It's a dirty room that contains a wooden bed with a straw-filled mattress, next to which rests a small table with an oil lamp burning brightly on it. Mounted above the bed's headboard is a wooden sun-shaped holy symbol.
A sun-shaped.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, I guess since everyone's not doing anything, I'll just peek into each room before I decide to go to bed.
Okay, you find another room that is clearly neglected, and the ceiling is covered in mold. It contains a few broken roof shingles and puddles of water. And finally...
Go ahead.
Finally, you find what appears to be an office. An old desk and chair stand against the southern wall of this room, and a wooden holy symbol is mounted above them in the shape of a sunburst. A 10-foot-long iron rod attached to the north wall stands bare, suggesting a tapestry probably was once hung there. And against the far wall stands a wooden cabinet with 4 tall doors.
I open the cabinet.
Okay, so you open up the cabinet, it's unlocked, and inside you find a tinder box, a couple wooden boxes, and 2 worn books.
I hold on to the books and think maybe one of my companions can check them out. Before I leave, I browse the desk.
Okay, you pop open the desk and you find a couple sheets of blank parchment and a few quill pens, as well as a couple of dried up jars of ink.
Okay, I really don't care for that. So I hide the books, just so to not alarm the priest, and thinking that maybe the cleric can find some use for them on our adventure.
Do you put them in your backpack?
Yeah, put them in my backpack out of sight.
Okay.
And then I go into with everybody else and sleep up.
Okay. Are you guys gonna sleep at all, or are you guys gonna
I'll sleep.
stay up? Okay.
I might catch some snooze.
Aren't I still coherent when I meditate?
Yes.
Okay.
You're
Yeah, 'cause it
aware
says
of
I
your
can-
surroundings.
It says I can go into a trance where I don't have to sleep if I just meditate deeply, remaining
Correct.
semi-conscious. Yeah, I'm gonna do that. So if anything loud happens, I can wake up and attempt to get everybody else ready for anything.
Okay. So you guys lay down to rest while Nightbreeze sort of sits calmly in the center of the church, meditating in his strange elven trance. Nightbreeze, you're sitting there for a few hours, and you notice that in all of this time, while your companions have slept, Father Donovic has remained in the exact same position, kneeled over the altar, and he repeats the same prayer over and over again, end on end, for hours and hours.
It's just the same thing, just that same small prayer over and over.
Correct. He repeats what clearly is a prayer to the Morning Lord to bring respite to his son from the unholy ailment that has afflicted him.
Okay, I think I'm gonna. I know he said not to, but I'm gonna cast guidance on myself real quick before I do anything.
That's hard because you're asleep.
I'm meditating, you know.
Oh yeah, you're an elf too, aren't you? You're a wood elf.
Wood elf.
Oh, okay. So you're gonna wake up or you're gonna break your trance and cast guidance, or
yeah.
What are you casting guidance for? Okay, you do it and you cast guidance.
Okay, because I think I'm gonna try just to talk with him one more time about it.
Okay, you approach the priest, Nightbreeze. You see Agarim casting some sort of blessing or enchantment on himself, and he approaches Father Donovic.
I'm just gonna ask him that. I mean, it's evident that he cares very deeply for this child, and he longs to help him. And as a cleric, I only wish to offer my assistance, but to do that, I would need to see and assess the situation myself.
I don't know which part of that was talking and which part of it was talking to me.
All of that was just talking to the priest.
Okay, so he breaks his prayer briefly to look up at you, and he goes, There's nothing to be done. The Morning Lord will bring him back. I will inter Kolyan, but as I told you, I will have no more talk of my son. Otherwise you will not be welcome in the house of our Lord Morningstar. Morning Lord.
Morning Star, he'll beat you across the head.
Star.
Show you a Morning Star. I smack him and frack him. No, I'm just kidding. I'll concede. I'll say very well. And I wish him a luck, in his prayer. And I go back.
John, what time would you say we went to bed at?
I mean, I'll assume you since you're trying to get up at dawn, you probably, in order to get like a full 8 hours of rest, would have gone to sleep at like, I don't know, 10 o'clock, 8 o'clock.
Okay, I assume we just went to bed whenever people say we were going to go to bed, which I thought was around 5 or 6, but alright.
I mean, you guys, you spent some time poking around rooms, some characters spent some time drinking and sort of interacting.
Well, I'm asking because I was hoping if we got up like around, I don't know, somewhere in the middle of the night, maybe we can peek around, see if we can get a glimpse of Strahd lurking in town or something.
Like you want to leave the church when night comes?
Or just, peek around. Yeah, maybe. Maybe.
I would be most interested in maybe looking out the window of
something like that, yeah.
The highest place in the church, at least.
The church does not have a second floor.
Oh, then I guess any window that could see at least that main stretch of town that we came from. Just to see if I notice anything. Could I perception or something?
Well, are you guys trying to just wake up in the middle of the night and do this?
Can I do so after a short rest?
Make sure to set the alarm on your smartphone.
Yeah, I mean that's sort of the issue we run into here. You would have to have someone like come and wake you up.
Oh, you're right. I'm good on that.
Well, that's why I was asking at what time, but it's cool. All right, we went to bed at 10. We got up like around 6 or 7. Yeah.
So Agarim and Nightbreeze, as you are sort of sitting in the church in the middle of the night, you hear like the sound of like an echoing sort of marching coming from outside of the church, out the back windows of the church that face the graveyard.
I'm gonna get up. Are the candles lit in the church right now, or is it all kind of just dark?
The candles are lit, yeah.
Hey, I kind of want to, I guess, as inconspicuous as I can to anything outside. I want to go up to one of the back windows and take a look, see where the marching noise is.
Sure, Agarim?
Yeah, I'll probably accompany him as well.
Okay, so you two stir from your trances and you peer out the back of the chapel, where you see an eerie green light that suffuses the entirety of the graveyard, and from the light emerges a ghostly procession, wavering images of dotty women toting great swords and woodwise men with slindered bows, dwarves of glittering axes and archaically dressed mages with beards and strange pointed hats. All of these and many, many more march forth from the graveyard, their numbers growing by the second, and they exit the graveyard marching out of the town, just one after another, as if some sort of like small army.
Like, where are they going, north, south?
So they appear to be exiting and marching down the road that runs through Barovia, through the village of Barovia. The main road that you would enter and exit the town through.
Oh, okay. Is the priest awake at the moment?
The priest is praying at the altar, as he always is.
I want to go over to him and kind of
never sleeps.
And kind of give him a shake and be like, "Do you know what's happening in the grave at the moment, or why you have a ghostly army rising from your graveyard?"
He stands up and he peers out the back and he says, "It is the procession of the heroes that have come before you, those who have come to slay Strahd and failed. They march every night to fight the battle that they lost."
Oh.
He pauses and he looks at all of you and he says, "Perhaps you will join the procession soon."
I would hope not.
I'll make you join.
Is Nightbreeze's eye floating along?
When you say "I hope not," he sort of does a sun gesture in the air and he says, "May the morning lord protect." And he kneels back at the altar and begins praying again.
Does it look like this? Does he praise the sun when he does it?
He does not. He sort of does one of these. He does like a circle and then like a hand, like a sunburst. He says, "May the morning lord protect."
Can't do that other move that's copyrighted.
As soon as he turns around and goes back to kneeling, I'm like, ugh, what the, ugh. Just wipe that symbol away.
But you're asleep, Libby.
Oh shit! I thought.
Yeah, you're not there. Only the 2 elves are there. Everyone.
I kind of toss in the night. I'm like, ugh.
Why? I don't get it.
Nothing.
I'm gonna go back into
It's me being an ass.
my trance then, since it's nothing that's causing us any harm.
Oh, I'm asleep. Damn it.
Let's say Luke was in it.
Damn it.
Yeah, we're out cold, man.
I have so many questions. Cool. Do you guys just not do anything?
I have sleeping questions.
Sleeping questions?
Luke, your dwarf was not in the procession as far as anyone could tell.
Guardian Soul is in my sword, remember?
As you sort of night breeze, as you watch out the back window, and as you begin to get settled back down, Agarim, you hear a loud banging at the front of the church, as if someone is rapping upon the door heavily.
I'm gonna look back at the priest. I'm gonna look back at the priest. Is this normal as well?
He continues to pray, and he stops only to say, "We do not open the doors of the chapel at night."
Oh, well, at least he's not going to let anyone in to kill us, so that's good.
Just to see what's going on. I'm not literally see, but I mean, I go up to the front door and I ask, who goes there at this hour?
Does any of this wake us up?
You guys can make a. What's your guys' passive perception?
12.
All right.
18.
Anyone who has a 15 or higher probably would have been stirred by the loud pounding at the front door. There were loud, like a quick and loud, heavy 3 raps at the door.
I set up and my hand spins 360, looking around. What the fuck was that?
I can just imagine the owl do it. Fuck was that? The whole way around. That's great.
Does Agrim get any kind of response from saying who goes there?
Yeah, so you hear a voice come from the other side, and he's like, it would appear I was correct. You are staying here, my friends. I've come to visit. Open the door so that we may speak.
Wait, who was that?
Who is we, or who are you that wants to speak with us?
Are you saying that across the door, Nightbreeze?
Yeah.
I go, yeah, who?
He says, of course it is I, your gracious host, Strahd. Won't you open the door and have a word?
I summon the banana slammer.
After all, I've invited you here to my land.
As soon as I hear that, I wake everyone up. It's not awake already.
Okay. Everyone is stirred awake by Tika.
And I say, Strahd!
What?
Strahd!
What do you want?
What?
Strahd's at the door.
God.
As I wake everyone up, I just let them know, Strahd!
I like pull a feather out of my mouth.
We'll get to him.
He's at the door, you fool!
What? He's at his castle.
And
I pick him up and I take him to the door.
Aren't you 5? You're 5'5".
Yeah, I'm so light. I try to.
The 5'5" bird picks up the 6'4" dude.
Eventually, you hear the voice call from the other side of the door. He's like, "Haven't you ever heard it's rude to keep those waiting? I was nice enough to bring you here as my guests, and this is how you treat me."
Does the priest have any reaction to Strahd being at the door?
The priest has increased the speed and volume of his prayer.
I ask him, what do you mean by bringing us here as your... I kind of put 2 and 2 together. Did you write that letter as the Burgomaster?
Master. And don't forget, you guys received a.
Didn't we find that letter?
You had like a third handout.
We did.
The letter from Strahd was from, but it wasn't directed towards us. It was towards the family.
Oh no, we do have a letter from Strahd.
But it was directed towards the family of the house that crumpled up upon us.
Is that where we found that?
Yeah, it was in that hidden chamber in the library on that corpse.
I didn't know that. I wasn't there for that.
Oh, that's right. That was the day.
The day.
Day.
Oh yeah.
If we open the door, we put the priest and his son at risk. It's just not an option.
He says, "Of course, it was I who wrote the letter, an invitation to come join me.
Join you for what?
Here I am to extend you another invitation, an invitation to dinner with me at Castle Ravenloft. Come, and you will remain unharmed for your travels there, and we can discuss how these things will play out."
Oh yeah, what's for dinner? Some owlkin?
Guys, hold on. Do you have ale, sir? This town is filled with wine, which it's not bad.
He says that there will be fine wines and all of the food that your hearts desire. I'm glad to see that you are men of material wealth. I'm sure that we can arrange something. I will see you on tomorrow's twilight at the Svalak Roads Fork. I will send a black carriage to pick you up. I hope you have a fine night burying the former Burgomaster.
Strahd. Is he still there? Or did he leave?
You don't know, because there's a giant wooden door in front of you.
Okay. So he just didn't answer. I yell right before, trying to get him before he leaves. What can you tell us of this boy locked in the basement? Is he one of yours? Strahd?
He stops. You can sort of. You heard footsteps walking away, and you hear a momentary pause, and he says, "That boy is what comes of people who march on my door with pitchforks and torches. I recommend learning from his mistakes."
Bum, bum, bum.
Shit just got real, son.
I turn, like my body stays facing the door, my head spins around, and I go, "What the fuck?"
What do you mean, what the fuck? I heard wine. We shall not say no to a free meal.
The phallic road fork? Jeez.
Oh god.
Oh man. Did we get our full night's rest, or did this disrupt our sleep?
We're not done yet. You guys are still in this scene. Are you guys done talking?
Oh, I thought he walked away. I'm sorry.
No,
Does anyone else have a question for Strahd?
No. Like in general, you guys were all awake and you were talking, so we have not suddenly leapt to when you have gone back to sleep and then tried to finish a rest.
My bad.
You are still currently in your present time. So.
Tell Strahd to prepare his anus, and then I can get back to sleep.
I go to the priest, and I'm assuming the priest heard what Strahd said, and I ask the priest, "Has your son turned into a vampire?"
This is my son. He is a creature. I do not know of what kind.
If he is a creature, he is no longer your son.
He will always be my son, and the Morning Lord will bring him back to me in the same form that he left my doors. I will continue my prayers. Lay yourself to rest, and on the morrow we will lay the Burgomaster to rest. And he goes back to praying.
Okay, away from him, I tell the group, I do not feel safe with that vampire in the basement. If we're gonna be staying here any longer.
Kind of set up. Well, we've been here most of the night with the vampire already here, so I think we'll be okay till morning.
Yeah, you've slept half the night already without anything happening to you. I think you'll be fine till dawn.
You don't feel safe here, yet you just argued with me hours ago back at the manor about staying the night in this very spot.
Hey,
That was Night Breeze.
Dungeon Master.
No, that was you.
Don't throw this on me.
Question, I know that I learned pretty much a lot about vampires at one point in my life. How much do I know about them? Like, I'm on their page. Do I know?
Do not look at their monster manual entry.
I'm not looking. We're good.
Like, can they be cured? Is that what you're trying to ask?
No.
Okay.
I was hoping I knew maybe how to identify them, but I don't believe I have that option.
You can make a religion check to see, like, whether you would know a way to test for vampirism.
Do I just do that now? Is that cool?
Yeah,
that's what I'm telling you. Make a...
God damn it.
So you have heard that vampires have an aversion to garlic and sunlight, and that perhaps you could use one of those to test whether someone is a vampire.
I could have cast guidance on you, Walu.
No, you're fine. You're fine.
Anything else, or are you guys laying to rest for the rest of the night?
I'm good. I was kind of like,
I'm good.
I was like half asleep while everything was happening anyway. So
As everyone looks like they've calmed down, I find that bag of wine again.
Before everyone sleeps, I let them know. After the burial, we are disposing of that creature in the basement.
So, Walu, are you not going back to sleep, or are you choosing to stay up and drink wine?
I was just gonna have a nightcap sip.
Okay. I just wanted to clarify.
Yeah, no, I'm not gonna drink all night. Just to.
So Walu takes a swig of the wine to sort of put himself at ease before laying back to rest.
I want to turn to Tika and say, I don't think you have the right to choose whether when a man's son dies or not.
That man's son is already dead. What lies beneath us is a monster.
You don't know that.
Strahd just told... Were you not listening to the freaking vampire in front of the door?
Can be fixed, possibly. Again,
By what?
like I
By
said,
his
I don't
god?
think-
Ha! I go back to bed and I ignore everything else he says.
Okay, so Tika just walks away from you while you're talking, neighbors.
Fair enough.
Anyone need to do anything else before you guys go back to sleep?
I'm gonna
no, I'm good.
Again.
Okay, everyone goes back to sleep. Can I get... let's go with wisdom saves. I'm sorry, wisdom saves.
Everybody?
Yeah, everybody.
Yeah.
Nice. Damn.
Damn, that's with +4, just to let y'all know.
Walu, you can do it with advantage because you drank the wine.
Oh,
Wait, did I not do it? What the hell?
Do I just roll again then? Is
Yeah,
that
just
okay?
roll again. Just roll again.
God dang!
Okay. So Walu, you try and get a good night's rest, but damn, you guys got 3 criticals. Jesus Christ.
What a waste!
Actually, M here, you did a wisdom check, not a wisdom saving throw, but that's fine.
Yeah, wisdom is wisdom, so it's 22.
So you try to get a good night's rest, but between Strahd showing up at the door and like the constant screaming and begging coming from the trap door, you find it incredibly difficult to sleep. You still get the effects of a full rest, but you need to take a level of exhaustion.
Yep. Already typing it in, thank you.
Eventually, Nightbreeze and Agarim stir the party as dawn is approaching.
Pearl.
Can I roll one of those hit dice to replenish my health?
You guys just took a full rest. Everyone's at full health.
Oh, it's a full rest. Awesome.
A long rest, yeah. You guys spent the night.
Badass.
Though, are you guys even injured right now?
I was still all banged up
I wasn't touching the last fight.
I was still good.
from the beginning of our session.
Oh yeah, you guys haven't rested since you first showed up in the town again. Okay. Yeah. The Father Donovic stands up and he says, "Dawn is coming. It is time to prepare the body." And Ismark and Irina nod. And Irina sort of saddles up next to you, M here, and she says, I'm glad that he came to speak with you. I thought he'd come for me again. I'm glad you're all here with me.
She wasn't here with us last night, was she?
Yeah, she was.
Yeah,
Irina and Ismark spent the night here with you.
Oh. Well, I'm not so convinced that he didn't come for you last night.
She seems scared at that remark, as if she's had a sudden realization that he absolutely could have been there for her. And she just sort of slowly shuffles away from you and over to that coffin. Father Donovic says, "Come, we must prepare it for Beru. Come."
Okay.
I come.
Alright,
Yeah, I'm gonna
You guys-
I'm gonna pick up, or I'm gonna grab the coffin. I guess who's gonna help me?
I help.
alright.
Okay, so you guys heft up the coffin and follow Father Donovic back out into the cemetery where there is an empty plot. And just as the sun is coming up, he gestures for you to lower the coffin into the grave.
No, we're ready.
You guys all lower it down, and he grabs like a handful of the dirt that's piled up next to it, and he sprinkles a handful over it, and he says, "May the eternal light of the morning Lord guide your everlasting soul through the mists and to the eternity that waits you in its holy land." And he gestures once again with a similar circle and burst, and gives a nod, and you see Irina and Ismark both follow with the same hand gesture.
I'm just gonna bow my head.
So the father points to a pair of shovels that are sitting up against a nearby tree, and he says, "Now we must recover the grave with the earth. Please."
I grab a shovel and start covering the casket up.
I'll grab
Okay.
the other one.
Okay, so Nightbreeze and Tika, with relative ease, cover the rest of the grave, and you pat the earth down with the shovels, and Father Donovic says, "May his eternal soul find peace." We can head back into the chapel now. With Kolyan gone, perhaps it would be best if Irina was taken somewhere safer.
What do you mean by Colin being or?
Safer such as where?
Where do
Yeah.
you think is safe?
I would recommend that she be taken perhaps to the Abbey of St. Markovia in Kresk. That is a sanctified and holy chapel. From what I understand, it is protected from the influence of Lord Strahd. Perhaps even Vallaki, the next town over. It's fortified, better able to withstand any attacks from Strahd's forces, but Barovia isn't safe for her.
Can Irina hear any of this right now?
Yeah, she's standing there with the rest of you.
Oh, shit.
All of them are.
All right. I look at Irina and say, "How would you like to travel with me, with us?"
She says, "Well, if that's what Father Donovic thinks is best, I think it would also be best. Perhaps Strahd would no longer follow me." And as Walu is talking to Irina, Father Donovic pulls Agarim to the side, and he says, I don't know what it is about Irina, but Strahd seems to be drawn to her. for those weeks that their mansion was attacked by Strahd and his beasts, he seemed to do little else in the village. Much of it was left undisturbed. For some reason, he's drawn to her. Take her somewhere safe, somewhere he can't reach her. She deserves that, at least after losing her father.
I understand your concern.
Irina looks to Ismark and she says, "Brother, will you accompany me to the new town? There's not much left of Barovia at this point." And Ismark replies, "Though there isn't much here, with Father gone, it is still my duty to run the village of Barovia and protect its inhabitants to the best of my ability. So I'll stay here, and when you return home, it will be a better place than when you left it. As long as these adventurers can protect you in the travels." And he looks to all of you and says, do you think this is possible? Can you keep my sister safe until she reaches a better location?
Kind of just digging my foot into the ground, like, yeah, sure, I guess.
I promise to you that I will protect her.
You all make your way inside of the church, and Ismark seems not super reassured by the vague remarks of two of the party members. And as you all step back into the church, you can hear the familiar screaming and begging that echoes through the church and seems to never cease. Father Donovic steps back to the pedestal, kneels down and clasps his hands and begins repeating the prayer of the Morning Lord, asking him to come and bring a cure for his son. And we are going to go ahead and end it here. It's about the end of our session time.
Right.
Alright.
I hope everybody enjoyed this. This was a combat-free session.
Yeah.
It was. It was all talky.
Hope that wasn't too boring for any of the players.
No,
that was a lot of story, and it was.
I'm
fun.
sure everyone was glad to have a break from being like knocked unconscious.
Yeah.
Or having limbs removed.
Poor Nightbreeze only has one eye. Oh yeah, Walu. Nightbreeze only has one eye now.
I informed him.
I also saw it. I watched the whole episode last night. Guys, if y'all didn't see the last episode, check it out. That was I almost died
Look at my
because
sleepy
I
little
wasn't
dog.
here.
Such a tired guy.
It is time. That was, yeah, man. I felt like this week I was like really digging into my character a little bit more, just to try to get more characterization. I don't know if it showed or not, but I felt more comfortable with it for sure.
Oh, that's good.
I mean, I felt in general
Birdman that gives no fucks.
you guys
Dungeon
did
Master.
a good job role playing. I think with each session you guys get like progressively better.
Yeah, there's still some stuff, man. Like, cause you're like, well, just do it. I'm like, well, shit, man. there's a lot of noob moments, man. And I apologize for that.
Yeah.
Go the fuck to sleep. We'll continue with the talking of it afterward.
Don't tell me what to do. I'm an adult.
You told us. That's why I'm telling you.
Well,
man.
that's why I ended it at 12 and not like 12:30 or 12:45 like we've been running to. Though I'm pretty sure at some point the paladin is going to start purging people in the party.
Yeah, he got really quiet towards the end. Did Tika really piss you off that much?
No, I'm just getting tired. That's all.
All right, man. Well, with that
paladin-
note, guys.
Paladin was so upset that I fucking rooted some corpse.
Well, we are gonna wrap it up in that case. I already started my outro music. Viewers, thanks for watching. If you haven't already, give the channel a follow if you enjoy it, and tune in next week. Yeah, hopefully, well, for sure there'll be a lot more action as far as combat goes. Peace.
I hope.
Same
Later,
time,
guys.
same place, same
Later.
price.